Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Purish, alongside of my good pal Dylan. We're finally back after a bit of a hiatus. I was sick for a bit, and then you had to get some stitches, and it was Easter over the weekend, so we thought, oh well, take the time off. But we're back. We're almost at the end of the regular season for the NHL. The Hawks played their final road game yesterday against the Sharks. I don't know how much you want to touch on the Blackhawks because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about, but what's on my mind, and I think on your mind, is the boys is coming out later tonight or earlier in the morning, depending on where you live, and same with Invincible. So, how we been doing? How we feeling about things?
Yeah, we've been feeling good, Easter passed, but hockey season's ramping up. This is the only positive of everyone being mid is that the last couple games of the season they all mean something. Like I think tonight Detroit plays Columbus. That's a huge game. There's like I think New Jersey, Philly, like there's just a bunch of games like that tonight, and every game matters from here on out for at least a half a dozen spots, which is kind of cool. But I think we should touch on the Blackhawks because we haven't recorded a podcast since Anton Frundell's debuted. And
Or
I
Sasha
kind of just,
Bowers, for that matter.
yeah, and Sasha Boisvert. But I want to kind of start there because, I mean, we're what, 8 games in with Frondell now. He's played in 8 different cities because of the way the schedules worked with them being on the road for 7 of 8 games. But
Welcome to the NHL,
um,
kid. You
yeah,
spent
welcome to
your
the
whole year in
NHL.
Sweden. Yeah, now you're gonna go over North America now.
Yep. And then you're going to play on Connor Bedard's wing. You're going to play a little center. You're going to play the right circle on the power play and damn near excel in every position that they've put this player in. You can't help but not be impressed with him. Yeah, he's had a couple defensive gaffes. He's 18 years old. I can deal with that. I'm more looking at he looks like a 4-year veteran with the way he's strong on the puck. I don't think that got stated enough. I didn't see this creativity when he was playing in the SHL. I mean, obviously he's got a cannon of a shot. I think he had 9 shot attempts last night against San Jose. He had 5
On
on
that
1
one
power
power
play
play
alone.
alone, yeah.
Yep, and a couple posts. The Bear there too picked up an apple on the Nazar goal, but can't help but be impressed with him. And I think the fact that it's shown that he can play at center. I think you and I have dabbled with the idea of if this is something they can actually do. Maybe there's a world where Nazar can shift to wing, or maybe there's a world where you're able to 1-1-2-3 like you are right now of Bedard, Nazar, and Frondell. And, of course, that always comes back to are they going to fill the winger depth? And, we can go down that rabbit hole in a minute. But I just think I'd like to acknowledge the positives because obviously on the ice, I think they've won like 2 games out of their last 6 or something. Like it's been pretty rough. I will say they have
Especially that
looked better since
road
that
trip.
East. Yeah, they've looked a
Yeah,
lot better since that East road trip. That East road trip was the worst they've looked all year.
brutal,
Just getting outshot to oblivion. I
horrible.
think the last 3 games they've outshot their opponent now, so that's good to see. But they're this is the trials and tribulations of a young team. That's really what we're seeing right now. So you got to take the positives. So I look at a game like last night where obviously it wasn't the most structured game. I think it was a lot of pawn hockey last night, and I think both teams
Very
would
free
admit to that.
flowing. Yeah,
Yes, very free flowing.
fun to
But
watch though.
at the same time, it's clear who the play drivers are of this team. I think Bedard, Nazar, and Frondell accounted for 17 of the 20 something shots that I think 29 shots attempts or shots that they had on goal. And that stat alone should tell you where the play driving is coming from. It's coming from the kids. And they're getting more confident every game. I keep saying, Nazar, since he's come back from the Olympic break, has looked like a completely different player. He's got his confidence back. He's got his shooting touch back. And what I'm going to even say is that I think he could be at 20 goals right now. He's had some A+ chances that he has not buried. So
Should if he has
there's
a hot enough finish, he can get to 20. Like
oh,
a little
100%.
bit of a
And
far shot, but it's within the realm of possibility.
but that's another guy who's looked great down the stretch. Obviously, Connor Bedard just continues to rack up the assists. I thought he looked tremendous last night. Another game that really shows that they need another high on forward on this team. I know Roman Kantarov's on the way, but you'd like to add another one into that mix because, I mean, the guy's just flying out there. The second goal is just because no one can keep up with him and he gets stuck at the blue line. And that's the reality of the situation. So there's stuff that needs to be fixed. They're playing with an extremely young defense right now, which I don't think is getting talked about enough. I think Vlasic's the oldest guy at 24. Let's be honest, it's not the A team of Hawks defenders. We got Del Mastro and Korchinski on the third pair, and I think they've swam more than they've sunk, as opposed to a couple of their call-ups in recent memory. I think this is the best stint of hockey Korchinski's played in the national in quite some time, and hopefully he could stack that in the next year. But you got to take the little things. You got to take the little games. You got to take the little strides. And I can't, like, I'm disappointed with some of their efforts some nights, but most nights I just, you could tell where they're lacking. And, I think the San Jose game showed it. I think the Edmonton game showed it a good bit. They're not as far as we like to think they are. I know you and I always joke about if they get some people who know how to play 3-on-3 overtime, they're probably a little bit better, but that's something you can address in the offseason. And, you got to take the positives of what you have. And let's be honest, if you can run 3 centers next year of Bedard, Frondell, and Nazar, that's pretty good start for what you could work with next year. And Spencer Knights responded after a couple bad games, I'd say. So, let's put it this way. If you talked to us this time last week, I probably would have been red coming out of both ears, but I do think the last 3 or 4 games, they've really put together some strong performances as opposed to just getting punched in the mouth on that East Coast road trip. Like, you can't, the New Jersey game's unacceptable. And then you just get killed by the Rangers with a 3rd string goalie in net. Like, it's just, that's the stuff that you got to just take on the chin. But at the end of the day, they have the 2nd worst odds. And I think if Calgary gets 2 more points and they lose like 2 more games, they're going to lock up 2nd worst odds. So we'll be looking at a scenario where the worst case scenario, we're getting a Keaton Bearhoff or something of that nature in the draft. So it's got to start looking that direction. And I think that you and I have already gone that direction. We'll probably dive into that in a little bit, but that's where I'm standing with the Hawks right now. Can't help but be happy about Frondell. Boisvert, I do think Boisvert, since he got scratched 3 games ago, has looked better. I thought
his first NHL goal in Seattle, which was a game winner.
Seattle too. And I think he's found some chemistry with Slaggert. Just Slaggert complements him a lot with that speed. A guy I'd really be interested to see Boisvert next year with out of camp would be like a guy like Oliver Moore, someone who's really fast and could be a playmaker and get him that puck, because he's a smart player. Once he gets the puck on his stick, he's looking to get the puck in space to someone else. It's just, you might need a couple more jitterbugs on those lines with him. So, like I said, there's positives to be had, but also at the end of the day, they're the 2nd worst team in the NHL. So I don't know what else you want me to say.
Allow me to be, I don't even know if this is me being pessimist, Pierce, but remember last year when they traded Seth Jones and they so clearly, like, it was a cancer removed for that locker room and they're playing so much more freely. It looks like they had a lot more fun playing. Now this year it's the opposite, where they trade away Dickinson and Murphy, who are not only huge parts of like their defensive structure, but also a huge part of their leadership core. I think they're missing that. I also think they're
Nick
missing
Foligno too. Traded the captain.
that as well. I think they're missing Oliver Moore too. Just like I know it's so hard to analyze this team because they've just been so shit, but on a team where a lot of the advanced numbers don't look appealing, Oliver Moore's probably looks the best, and you're definitely missing that. It sucks that Artem Levshunov is out for the rest of the year. I mean, he had such a good start to the season. I thought there was a stretch in December there where he took over so many games, it felt like, but once the calendar flipped to 2026, it was rough. It was feast or famine with him. Games he would look really good, and then games he would look like not even NHL caliber defenseman. Like, maybe not quite the progress you would want out of your 2nd overall pick, but also he's 20 years old, man. We still got to give this guy some time, and is still leading this defensive core in scoring. I think he had 24 points in 68 games. But like you mentioned earlier, Kevin Korchinski has looked very solid since he came up. Like, maybe not all the flashes we thought when they originally drafted him. Like, he's not super flashy, but he's just making the plays that he has to make, and he looks just calm and poised out there. So you take that for now, and hopefully he can take that in the next year, or maybe you sell high on that and hope that maybe another team would take on him being another 7th overall pick. But again, he's going to be 22 this summer. They're all these players are so young. A player we didn't bring up at all yet is Nick Lardis. I've been really impressed by him as well. Not just the ability to score goals. We all knew that he can snipe the puck, but him going to the net, that game against the Islanders where they thought it was an icing, but they still kept going on the play. Him body checking, I think it was Scott Mayfield behind the net. Like that gives me hope. I can't remember if it was Ben Pope or Scott Powers that wrote the article of the Hawks are looking for him to be Jake Gensel. That's a pretty good way to start because again, Jake Gensel is not only a good goal scorer, but he's a pain in the ass to play against. So yeah, I think there's so much positives with this team. I'm definitely frustrated because I just know that even though this team is at the bottom of the barrel again and probably going to have at worst a top 5 pick, they're also Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar not being injured for what simultaneously for a month together, being closer to San Jose than where they are right now. So, yeah, I don't even think I'm being pessimistic, but man, we're going into Bedard's 4th year now. We're no longer going to be in the ELC. Not that I think really many of us expected the Hawks to do anything in his ELC, but I just can't help but think this is Bedard's second contract. You already got Frank Nazar going on to a second contract. Alex Vlasic is signed long term. You got Spencer Knight signed. It's time to make some moves. I don't know. Like I think if they get a top 3 pick, we're fine. Obviously, if they can get Stenberg or McKenna, that's fine. And at this point, I'm fine if they draft, say, a Chase Reed or Keen Veeroff. But how are you going to tell that to the rest of the fan base to care about that? You have so many assets at your disposal. Words are tough right now. You can make the move. I'm rambling on. It feels like I'm just kind of rehashing what I said last podcast. But yeah, I just see one could look at it. They're at the bottom of the barrel, but also I think they need they need help, man. We can't like we say often with this team. This team isn't going to be full of drafted homegrown players, and I think the same with the ages of the players too. I don't think you can run a defensive core with Alex Vlasic being your oldest at 24 years old. And again, that kind of goes back to the point of this team is missing Connor Murphy. They're missing Jason Dickinson at center, which as it's been tough on the faceoffs as well. And they were missing Nick Foligno. Obviously, Connor Bedard, I think he's going to be the captain. I think he's going to sign 8 years. I'm optimistic about that, but man, another maybe not top 4 defenseman would be nice, but just some depth. Hopefully, someone better than Matt Grzelcyk. Not that Matt Grzelcyk was necessarily bad, but I think a name you and I have been discussing is Jamie Alexiak. I think that would be perfect for this defense because this team also I think needs to play meaner. They need more of a mean streak to them. But yeah, I'm rambling on. I just make this team better for God's sakes, man.
Yeah, and I think I've stated to you ad nauseum kind of what I would like to see. And like I said, the off season I think is akin to, or it's tied to whatever happens May 5th. Because if you have picks 1 or 2, I expect a top 4 defenseman on this team March or July 1st. And if there's not, then we're going to have some problems because you're not expecting 6 kids to get it done back there. Your forwards will be sorted out because you will have another horse up there. Now, if you get a Chase Reed or you get a Keaton Veerhoff, I think it's a non-negotiable trade for a top 6 forward with one of those defensemen because 1, you will have one too many right-handed defensemen, and 2, that's your best asset right now. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I don't think they're going to trade Frondell. I don't think there's a world where they trade Nazar unless it's for a downright elite forward. That's just a scenario. And like, I've talked to you about this before, and I think I've said it on the podcast, like big trades, they don't end up trading their best players. This doesn't happen all the time. So with that being said, I just think if you're picking a defenseman, you have to make it a non-negotiable to go get a top 6 forward. And I've named countless names to you. Some are big spending. Some are, I think, bargain bin shopping. Some I think are guys that you should just take chances on because they have fantastic analytics and they're having a bad year on a bad team. Like, you can go the route of getting, you can go try to get the big fish. It takes two to tango, like I always say. But like, if a new GM comes into Toronto and Matthew Nice finds his way on the market, anything pick 3 and down, I'm throwing at it. And you and I talked about this before. Kyle Davidson really wants to show that he wants to take the next step with this team. Your next 2 first-round picks are up for grabs, unless it's pick 1 or 2, in my opinion. 3 or down, yeah, that's up. That's for game. And like we talked about, I don't think a top 5 pick is traded that often. Doesn't matter. Be different. Break the cycle. Jump off the hamster wheel, God forbid. But like, you could go that route, or you could, I don't know, overpay for a Jason Robertson, maybe pinpoint Dallas because you can offer a 4 first-round offer sheet. Never going to happen, but you are in a scenario to where you can do something like that. You're in a scenario where you can overpay for a Robert Thomas. I know both these names are in the division. I understand that. Fine, we'll go bargain bin shopping. I firmly believe there's a world where you can get Shane Wright or Kent Johnson. I don't think there's a I think easily. That is a world where you can get one of those 2 players. I'll trade a 2027 first for them. I'll trade Sam Renzel for them. I'll give them whatever they want because I promise you, I promise you, Shane Wright is not going to put up the same amount of points as Ryan Green playing with Connor Bedard. And I know their stat lines are similar this year. Shane Wright was also hurt this year, but at the same time, Shane Wright is like I texted you today. Guys like Shane Wright and Ken Johnson have never played with a play driver like Connor Bedard. It's just that simple. And Ken Johnson has fantastic analytics. That's Morgan Geeky waiting to happen. Not like the same play style, but a player that is just
a guy waiting to explode and played with the Kraken. Or no, that'd be right, but yeah, you know what I mean.
And you could get Ken Johnson for pennies on the dollar. I don't like, he's got 1 more year on his deal, so maybe you'd have to give up something, but like, he's lost a spot in Columbus's lineup. Like, go look at their lines. He's not anywhere close. I think he has 25 points this year too. Like, I always think, especially when you have high-end talents, like the number 1 trade I think of is the Dylan Strome trade. When you got a guy like Patrick Kane, when you got a guy like Connor Bedard, you can take swings like that because you know deep down, with Shane Wright's the perfect example. You know the fucking skills there with Shane Wright. We've known that since he was 15 years old. This guy's just had the craziest development path I think I've ever seen from a top prospect. Like, let's be honest, outside of like Alexi Lafreniere, maybe. Kind of crazy. But I know damn well you put that kid with Connor Bedard. Maybe not every time. Maybe just on the power play. Maybe you put him with Frank Nazar so you get a little more size with him. Maybe you put him with Anton Frondel and just make a bruiser line. I don't know. I promise you he's going to have 50 or more points on this team. And that makes such a fucking difference. And if you don't want to do that, fine. Go for a Jared McCann. Go for an older forward. Like we said, we can't have a bunch of 25-year-olds on this team. Like, get creative. Just get creative. Like, I don't really want to get worked up over this. And I'm not going to. I just think smart GMs get creative, and I'm going to be like, I know the cap's going up, but with how close this league is right now, there are going to be some knee-jerk decisions this offseason.
Some all teams the GMs that have been fired so far.
Yep. Everyone's on the hot seat right now. And if you miss the playoffs by 2 points, like, hell, look at what is going on in New Jersey right now. They're like openly asking if Nico Hischier wants to stay here, the captain of the fucking team.
Now that's a name.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a name the Hawks should target. I don't even, like we talked about. I don't even know what that package would be, and it's probably not anything I would want to entertain as a Hawks fan, for being honest. But like, we see it all the time. Like, the Blackhawks, I think, are a perfect example of this. A team in limbo. They get a new person in position of power. That person doesn't like what they have, and they blow it the fuck up. Like, I'm telling you, this is going to happen with at least 2 teams this offseason. I don't know which teams those are. It's going to happen, though. And the Hawks should be the first one to jump on that shit. And guess what? You can take the swing and miss like Ottawa did with DeBrincat. I don't think that was more of a miss. I think that was more just Ottawa misusing their assets. But the concept of going to get DeBrincat the first time is what matters. The Hawks need to do that. This is the time. This offseason is the time. The draft is the time. Free agency is the time. I don't think free agency will be the time. I don't think the piece will be there to get. But Trading, damn sure you will have 3 first-round picks to work with. You will have potentially pick 3 or 4 to work with if you have any balls. You can unprotect those first. And, for the what if man he's already dangled this before, quote unquote, with Ivan Demidov, quote unquote. Like, whatever. Do it. Do it. I promise you Connor Bedard's not going to give a shit. I promise you none of the players on the team are going to give a shit. They're probably going to go to your office and thank you because they're actually going to have help. Like, Kyle Davidson should have watched that San Jose game last night and just said, holy shit, I need to get another horse on this team. And if in his mind, he's just like, well, I got to come in the draft, we're fucked. We're so fucked. It's not even funny. How many times have I said this? Like, your whole team cannot get built through the fucking draft. Those Blackhawks teams had Marian fucking Hossa on the team and Patrick Sharp on the team, neither of which were drafted by the team. Don't tell me the whole team can be drafted. I will not believe you. Whatever. That Tampa Bay team is not all drafted, contrary to popular belief. That dominant third line
Vegas,
was all
neither is
acquired.
Colorado, neither is Florida. Yeah. Like, they have some guys that they drafted, but
your
like,
core pieces, of course, your Barkovs, your Ekblads. But you know what they did? They got Matthew fucking Tkachuk and Sam Reinhart and Brandon Montour a couple years prior to that. And this is the shit that makes you a better team. I'm not saying you need to be Florida. Let's look at Carolina. I think a slept-on move by Carolina that did not get nearly as much credit was going to get Keandre Miller from a team that clearly did in the division, mind you, that didn't know what they wanted to do with this player. Swooped in, picked him up for a bunch of draft picks that you got because you were creative and got those draft picks. We're not going to ask how you got them, Mikko Rantanen, but you turned that into You turned that into 8 years of Keandre Miller, who is now your number 2 defenseman, probably number 3 once Nick Keeshan becomes what he should be, but it'll work out perfectly because Slavin will be on the downtick. Like, that's what great teams do. That's the move I'm looking for right there. Who's your Keandre Miller? Bowen Byram could have been that last year. He probably could be this year. There's going to be names out there. You just got to go fucking find them. Like, if you told me Mikhail Sergachev was on the market in June 2024, you woke me up to that in the hotel. I couldn't believe you.
Jake Chychrun, those were both defensemen moved in the same offseason at the same age, 26, 27-year-olds, right in the middle of their prime, and both Washington and Utah have them locked up for long term. Well, I think Sergachev already was, but you know what I mean. Like, that's your top pairing.
These guys become available. You just got to go find them. Like, Kevin Fiala has been available twice now. Like, these players do become available. You just have to get creative enough to get them. And I get it. It takes 2 to tango, and I get it. Like, at the end of the day, these are all magic beans, but you got to use some of them before you figure out they're not magical. Because the last thing you want is to have a bunch of guys who are just okay, and they don't have that flash of, hey, this was a first-round pick at one point. This was the top 10 pick at one point. Like, there is a face value to being a top 10 pick or being a first-round pick and being under 22. All those things are super valuable, especially if you're a contending team trying to get under the salary cap, which is why I circle back to Tampa, because that's exactly what they did in the Sergachev trade. They got a guy like JJ Moser, and they got a guy like, I know Connor.
Great trade for both sides, like,
exactly.
As a side.
And then they got Ryan McDonough back. Like, you can get something like that from a team like that is already going to be creative enough to fill the hole that they're going to get rid of. You don't have to worry about getting rid of a hole. You have holes to fill. Like, it's just get a fucking shovel and start whatever. Get the concrete team loaded. We don't even need a shovel. We're done digging. We're going to fill these fucking holes. Holy shit, Kyle Davidson. I'm so serious. If we're sitting here August 2026 and we have all 3 of those first round picks, I'm going to fucking explode. Unacceptable. Oh, I'm going to save them to the deadline. For what? Like, credit to Montreal. They knew they didn't need their fucking first. And you know what they did? They got Noah fucking Dobson for it, which has completely changed that defense overnight. That's what good teams do. And like we said, until further notice, you haven't proven to me that you want to be a good team yet. So keep taking on dead weight. I'm sure the fan bases that are louder, and I'm sure the part of the fan base is that's louder, less understanding, and actually spends money is going to be very understanding to you sucking again. I'm so sure. I'm so sure. And guess what? You don't have the 100th anniversary to save your ass for ticket sales this time. And that's the reality. They're not going to learn until they lose money with ticket sales. We talk about this all the time. And they're not going to lose money.
Yeah.
So we're never going to see the difference. This is like the fucking Cubs right now. Ask any Cubs fan. This is what it's going to turn into. Unless they wake the fuck up and join up in the arms race before you get left in the dust like you have been the last 10 years. Because at the end of the day, we talk about it, it's a fucking arms race in the Central. Before you can even breathe, there's 4 teams that are light years ahead of you. And then you got 3 more that you got to climb over. Just before you can even squeak into the playoffs in your own division. You are so fucking far ahead. Or far behind. Sorry. All these teams have, like I looked at Dallas today. You want to know how many guys Dallas has over 30 points?
A lot, I think.
10.
What'd you say? 10? Is it 10?
10 players with over 30 points. Pretty good, right?
That's
pretty good
at all. Yeah.
You want to know how many players the Blackhawks have over 20?
I'm gonna say 6.
8.
Oh, okay.
You're so you are missing 60 plus goals to even sniff one of these positions. Now, how'd you get those goals? You hope half of those are through development. You still got to get the other half, and that still has to account for injuries. Because if Bedard and Nazar are healthy, maybe they're in a better spot. You know what you could have done? Built the team better so that when they get hurt, the whole team doesn't fucking crumble. Like someone said it best watching the game last night. The Sharks it looks like a cohesive 5-man team when he's on the ice. When Bedard's on the ice, all these guys are shitting their pants trying to figure out how to get the puck to him. You know what the best part is? This guy's good enough to find the puck on his own. You don't have to worry about that. Play your fucking game. Ugh, whatever. I'm the one ranting, but the point stands. Nut up or shut up. Make a trade for some depth and get rid of the dead weight. Because holy shit, we didn't even talk about Andre Burakovsky falling off a cliff in the second half of the season. He better be bought out or in Rockford, or I'm going to be just if he is taking a roster spot from anyone next year, fireable offense.
He should not play another game in a Hawks uniform, straight up.
Guy quit on the team, on the ice, multiple times. I don't want to see you play another game this year. Unacceptable. And you got fucking royalty treatment getting put with the best player on the team, glued to him for 30 games, and you couldn't do shit with him. Unacceptable. I'm not going to shit on Ryan Green because he's 22. And guess what? For what he did, you know what? Cool, man. I hope you find a bottom 6 role in this hockey team. Just don't play on my top line anymore.
And that's really the whole point of this rebuild is for number 98. After 3 years, the best we can do is Ryan Green and Andre Burakovsky. Are we for real? Are we now going to turn into the late 2010s Oilers where you got all the hearts? Well, in the case of the Oilers, they had McDavid and Draisaitl and really nothing else around them, but we were screaming for years, at least get McDavid and Draisaitl some support so he can score some goals and maybe you can figure out the defense and goaltending otherwise. I think what frustrates me the most is they got the hard stuff out of the way. Go have fun. Go find a winger who you think can gel with Connor Bedard. Look at what the Pittsburgh Penguins did, man. You sent me this tweet. Had them getting Igor Chinikov from the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think it was only for a 2nd-round pick. Can the Hawks not do that with Columbus as well and trade a second for Ken Johnson? I mean, if you have to do more than that, what's stopping you from doing so?
The reason why for Ken Johnson in a heartbeat. Just want to say that, or pick 34, whatever.
And then some,
because you have the Leafs second too. You have 2. You're going to have 2 seconds that are basically late first.
Okay. So you have your 2 seconds in the 30s this year because you're going to have your own. You're going to have the Leafs. And next year, you're going to have the Canucks. Like
you have no excuse. You have such good draft stock right now to play with. Go use it.
This is the whole point of the rebuild, and if we're not doing anything, like if they don't do anything this summer, this is Connor Bedard's 4th year. Are you gonna tell fans, fuck the fans, fuck us? Are you gonna tell Connor Bedard, maybe in your 5th year we will help you out? Are you kidding me? This team got Connor Bedard and is still at building the team as if they didn't get Connor Bedard, which is the most frustrating part to me.
Well, I mean, they came out
Connor.
and said it blatantly last year. They were like, well, if we didn't take this step, we had to build a team like that. That's unacceptable, man. You know what helps you figure out if he's not going to be that? You put fucking stuff. I'm sorry. That article last year rubbed me or I think it might have been or late last year. It rubbed me the wrong fucking way. Where they were like, well, they had to potentially build this team like Bedard was going to be or pan out to be like Sebastian Aho, which clearly wasn't the case.
Scott Powers said on our podcast that they're building the team like the Carolina Hurricanes, but they're lucky they got Connor Bedard.
I hate that. Like, I'm sorry. You don't have any fucking right to build a team like that. You don't. You don't. You want to know why Carolina doesn't win? Because they don't have Connor fucking Bedard. And they would kill for him. And I don't. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. None of this fucking matters until they actually get a second high-end forward on this team. And it sucks. Or it doesn't suck. It's like, I'm just praying to God it happens because I don't trust him to go get it if not. Like, they better get a top 2 pick because I don't fucking trust him to go get it if he does it. He's going to need it to fall into his fucking lap again. That's like a fact. I just don't see him getting it if not. If he picks pick 3, I'm shitting a brick this whole offseason. Pick 1 or 2, it is like it's that 22 Jump Street meme where one of them's in like sunshines and rainbows, and the other one's in fucking hell. That's like if we get top 2 or 3 or 4. I'm so serious because at least I know with or that top 2 pick. Well, the forward should be solved. We just need a top 4 D and maybe another depth D, and we could sort this out. Pick 3, I don't know what the fuck these idiots are going to do. I got zero fucking clue. And if they sit on their hands, we might be fucked. At least if we sit on our hands and we get picks 1 or 2, we got another horse on forward. And it takes the pressure off Cancerov, and it takes the pressure off Rondell, and it takes the pressure off all these fucking guys. Whatever. They're going to get like pick 4, and we'll just have to fucking Joker laugh the whole offseason. But that's okay. It's okay. It's okay, guys. We're going to get Albert Schmeetz, and, we're going to trade Landon Slaggert for Josh Anderson's contract, and that's going to be the big move. Just get so fucking excited, guys. It's the best team ever. When does his leash get cut? Sorry. When does his leash get cut?
No, that's absolutely a valid question. I think it should already okay, let's go to past off seasons. Like 2024, you just fucking swung and missed so badly. 2025, what was out there? And everyone last year was wanting to get better and wanting to make hockey trades where you got actual players back. Like the Hawks couldn't have done that last year. All you're doing is trading prospects and trading draft picks, which teams didn't want. And I always go back to the JJ Peterka trade. That is the kind of player they should have acquired last year. And funny enough, that trade has worked out more in the Sabres' favor, I would say, because Josh Doan has been equally as good as Peterka, and now they got him signed to a long-term contract in Kessering, even though he's and got some injury issues. That's still a guy who can play on your right side. But you couldn't make that trade last year. And the Hawks now have had guys on their team where Luc Crevier can be your Michael Kessering. And I don't know, maybe you trade like an Oliver Moore. Like, you couldn't have done that last year. You can do that this year. You have a bunch of young guys that have come up. They're not getting the Florida first this year, at least. You have 3 first-round picks this year. You have your first this year. Like, you should be dangling that first this year. You should be dangling your own first-round picks last year. Oh, no, worst-case scenario, we trade that unprotected first for a really good player, but we still have Florida and Edmonton's first, even though it's probably going to be picks in the 20s, if not 30s. It really is a threshold, because if Kyle Davidson does pull off the big move, like, I will shut up for the
Duh.
rest of the off season.
Duh.
But
I think sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but the reason we're so mad is because
yeah.
he's almost done it fucking 4 years in a row. I'm sorry. I don't want. It's the boy who cried. It's the boy who cried. Good trade. I don't care anymore. I don't fucking care. It was Gensel, then it was Demidov. Like, I'm done. Just do it. Shut up. Like, I don't want to hear you in talks ever again. I'd rather you just drop a fucking gauntlet on me like the Seth Jones trade or the fucking Alex DeBrincat trade. Because at least then I know that, like, well, at least they're working behind the scenes, because I'm so sick of hearing they're in on people and then just nothing happens. Like, what's worse? What's worse? Them not doing anything or them saying they're going to do shit and then not do anything? They both
I
suck.
don't know, man. Like, yeah. Yeah, being a Jays fan who might be the worst team in sports to be like, they're in on this guy and then they don't get him. Like, the day you do get a big fish, you're going to forget all those times is a thing. Like, again, you just got to shut up and make the move, because players are out there. And I have to ask the question again, not only what are the money in the draft picks for, how come it's only the same five GMs making these trades? It's because they don't overvalue their own prospect. What I'm worried about the most is, can Kyle Davidson take that next step outside of his shoes? Oh, why am I getting a phone call right now? That's weird. And it's from a spam number. Like, if Kyle Davidson can take a step back, because if we want to get into more rumored stuff, the Leafs were asking for Lev Shunov plus for Nyes. I wouldn't do that, but if you can talk it down to, say, Renzel and more, do you do that for Nyes? Maybe Crevier and more plus for Nyes? Like, that's the whole point of a negotiation. Like, the Leafs are going to come in asking high for your best right-hand defenseman for Matthew Nyes, but then you get to a point where you talk it down. And I don't know teams I've gone at the Blackhawks, but if they're like, we'll take Mirk Vanacker and blah 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 for this player, you gotta do that, man. Like, yeah. There's no excuse this off season, and once again, and if you don't do anything and you're banking on Anton Frundell and Roman Kanserov to be your saviors, which is completely unfair. To me, you should be acting as if Bedard and Nazar are going to be hurt again. Because
Yes.
as much as I hate to say it, Bedard has been injured for 2 of the 3 years. He's only played 3 seasons. He's only got 182 game season on your belt. You should be asking as if both Bedard and Nazar. The saying of, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's Kyle Davidson.
And, like, people forget Taves and Kane weren't always healthy every year of their career. Like, there were times where these guys missed 10, 15 games at the same time. And you know what helped? They had guys like Sharp and Hossa that could step in and basically pick up the load like nobody's business. Like, you need to find that. And yeah, it might be in the system. But guess what? You know what helps it be in the system? Get something that can help fucking amplify the lineup. How many times do we have to scream Brian Campbell and Marty Havlat before the cows come home? Like, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. But you would think it is with the way this team gets run some years. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, we said this every offseason, because every offseason you're just pissing into the wind and shitting down your legs and not doing anything with a franchise player is a complete failure. What has to change? Like, if not now, then when? The Ken Holland saying of, you can't, like, what was it? You can't be buyers every year. You can't go on in every year. You should be with players like that. We can't be the late 2010s Oilers where the problem is so nice. It's so obvious that it's nice enough to stare you right in the face and you're like, no, we won't solve it.
They like, refuse to address the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm. Acknowledge me, and they haven't.
Literally. For 3 straight years.
And like, it's like you have a guess who board, and it's like, I don't want to trade that player for this guy, and you're just like constantly flipping down all the people you could potentially get, because you're like, no, I don't want to trade away like a Lev Shunov or a Renzel.
Yeah, well, Joe Veleno for Andre Burakovsky, it is, champ. Like, I'm done with those trades. You do another one of those, and my head might explode. I'm so serious. My head might explode if they just trade a bum and get another declining forward that was good 4 years ago on a stacked Colorado team. Like, we can do so much better. We can do so much better.
That's
Why I'm
the
praying
thought
some of
running
these
through my
teams just
head.
miss the playoffs and blow it up. That's my only hope, honestly. Because if teams start getting desperate, that's when we can start jumping in on this. Because until then, it's never going to work. But if like 2 more teams, it doesn't even take that many. 2 more teams commit to a rebuild. I don't think LA will because of Panarin, but like, or a
And Ken Hall
retool.
won't do
Like,
that.
God, if Ottawa misses the playoffs, I think all hell's going to break loose there. I think obviously with the Islanders, there's going to be some crazy shit going on. The Devils, there's going to be some shit going on. The Leafs, there's going to be some shit going on. Nashville, when they get a new GM in there. St. Louis is going to have a new voice in there. Take advantage of that, please. You will finally have the position to do so. Because a new guy's going to come in and he's going to want to stock his cupboard. And guess what? You have a shit ton of stuff to stock a cupboard with. Like, they just need to take the turn like Utah did. What was it, like 2 years ago they started doing this? They trade for
2024 draft. Yep.
Sergachev. Yep, trade for Marino. They trade for Dursey. You know, all moves that like
They built their whole defense.
Yeah,
and
and I don't
one
think they
fell
spent a
swoop.
single first. I think it was all seconds.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, and guess what? They have a bunch of
Seconds. So many that they spent 3 on Mackenzie Weegar. Another good move. Yeah, man. Maybe learn a lesson or two from your division because God knows they love to get creative and you don't. Unless it involves trading people for first-round picks.
Or like taking on a bad contract to get a sweetener. Listen, the Jason Dickinson and Ilya Mikheyev trades, those are strokes of genius right there. Absolutely. But when we're trying to get Connor Bedard a line mate, Andrei Burakovsky ain't it. Sorry. Like, we can do better than that. Let's be adults for once. Let's be serious. Let's build a somewhat competitive team. And obviously, with I like Kyle Davidson isn't gonna go out and trade Frundell and Lev Shunov for whoever unless like it's Connor McDavid or whatever, obviously. But there's a middle ground. You can trade not Frundell or Lev Shunov, but like someone a tier below that to get an elite player.
Yeah.
Because like the saying of you got to give something to get something, but also like you're not trading your number one prospect or asset to get a good player back.
No one does. I will stress that point till the cows come home. Name the last time a number one prospect got traded. And then get back to me. Just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. So that's in a conversation for the offseason. We spent 45 minutes on the Hawks. I think we could stop now.
Like once again, we gotta reiterate here. Like I think you share the same sentiment as me. I can speak on your behalf as well. Where yes, they are at the bottom of the barrel again. It'll be nice to have another top 3 pick. Yeah, like they could use another top 3 pick, like Florida could use a top 3 pick. But if Bedard and Nazar, Bedard and Nazar are healthy, I think they're closer to San Jose, which is why I think they're on the precipice. You have Bedard, you have Nazar. Hopefully, Lev Shunov and Renzel are both good to go on the defense next year. Nick Lardis has looked good. He's scored at a 20-goal pace since he's been in the NHL. And since he's been put in the top 6, he's looked very good. There's so much promise despite some of like the disagreements we have of how Davidson is drafted. I'm like, they're so close. Make a trade. Like, they're not going to be a cup contenders anytime within the next few years. But like you said, I think the Central Division is so top heavy. It's going to be hard to get to Dallas, Colorado, and Minnesota. But they sure as hell can leapfrog Winnipeg, St. Louis, Nashville. What other team? Oh, Utah. I would put in the former group. But I saw Blues fans complaining, "Oh, we went on a big run, and look at Chicago. They're at the bottom, and they're going to get a better pick than us just because we went on a pointless run for no reason." But
cool, man. Give us Robert Thomas if you want to get to the bottom. We can help you with that. Like, really do not care. Like, could care less about St. Louis. Oh, no, we actually have players who play with structure, so we're not ass. Like, I really don't care. Could care less. Like, if you really want to be serious about blowing it up, trade Robert Thomas and Jordan Cairo and shitting it off the pot. Like, I don't care. Maybe don't dangle Colton Parayko in front of everyone's face. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Because they got a lot of young talent there. And yeah, Gavin McKenna probably would help that. But you know what helps getting Gavin McKenna? Probably getting rid of the guy that's going to keep you from getting him in the first place. That's fine. That's fine. I understand. Give me Robert Thomas.
Yeah, but it's never going to happen, and I've accepted that. I just Matthew Knies really just seems like the most.
Mason McTavish is more likely, and that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not doom and gloom. We're not. All the prospects.
We're not doom and gloom. We're just painfully realistic.
We are so frustrated right now because at the end of, I remember the feeling at the end of last year was, this team was actually fun to watch with all these young guys. I'm looking forward to the beginning of next year, and fast forward to now when we haven't done anything to help these guys out. Let's go do that, please, for once. And that's the big next test for Kyle Davidson. And if he can't do that, then we need to get someone else in here who can, because this is unacceptable.
Here's the way
this is your fifth draft.
Well, I just want to make this point with the Hawks right now. They're about to have like an 18-point increase, right? Good, right? Those first 18 points should be the easiest points to get back in terms of the standings. These next 18 are the ones that really fucking matter. Cool, you're like an 80-point team right now. That's awesome. You know how many points you need to get to the playoffs normally? Like 95. Those are the ones that really you're going to have to fucking fight for. And those are the ones that are going to take big boy moves to go get. Because I promise you, Andre Burakovsky and Ryan Green aren't going to get you those extra 7-8 wins. Or in the case of you right now, you probably need 11 or 12 more wins. So do what you need to do to get that. Help the good players around you. And we might be having a different conversation. We might be having a different conversation in April 2027. But until then, I'll just go off of what I've seen. And like you said, I really don't want to put my season's hopes on a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old that are coming over.
And it's completely unfair to do so. Like, why are you doing that to them? Yeah.
Now, do I think they could do it? Probably, but that's not the point.
The concept, you might have 2 scoring lines if you go out and get another forward. What?
Crazy concept, I know. Shit, if you split them up, you might have 3.
Yeah, you might have offense outside of Connor Bedard. Well, that's not fair to.
No, we can't do that.
Bertuzzi and Nazar,
sorry, it's against the rules. Not in the cards, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. I think I'm not so much worried at the draft of who they're going to take, because I think they just need help everywhere. They could use another top 4 defenseman. Absolutely. I think they need another elite forward more than anything. But to me, I'm like, there's no reason why, if they draft McKinnon or Stenberg, there's no reason why they can't go out there and trade or sign for a top 4 defenseman. And then the other way around, they get another defenseman, especially if they're getting someone like Chase Reed. You trade one of those right-handed defensemen right away and get a top 6 forward. I think that's what I'm more worried about. Not the drafting. I think like the plan to make this team better is what I'm most worried about. And I'm just
not. Are you going to fill the other hole?
They're going to do it. Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Of course, Ottawa wants to not take the piss tonight. That's awesome. Thank you, Tampa.
Yeah, there's a lot of
jerks.
There's a lot of big games going on right now.
Florida's winning. It's the only game that matters.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, Detroit and Columbus are tied right now, though. That's huge.
That's humongous big right there.
Jack Green got an assist.
Good for him.
Too excited.
Flyers are beating the Devils right now. We're going to get into a bunch of the firings that have happened with GMs and coaches, but looking at the standings right now, Colorado is beating the Blues 3-0 right now. I think if they win this game, they not only clinch first in the division, but I think they clinched the President's Trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they will. Especially if Tampa loses tonight. And if Boston comes back, then they definitely will.
Mhm. And that means that would be a Minnesota and Dallas first round, which is the least surprising thing. I think that's just been locked in since December, January. So Pacific's a lot more interesting. Oilers are actually in first place now. Then you would have Anaheim versus Vegas, and I hate looking at especially the Western Conference because the Los Angeles Kings in 77 games have 83 points. 19 of them are overtime losses. They only have 19 regulation wins. Like
I hate this sport.
I
I love this sport. I hate this league. Sorry. Correct myself.
like I'm at the point where I'd rather see Nashville make the playoffs over Los Angeles. And
Yeah.
they've played each other, I think, a couple times in the last week. I think last week Nashville won a shootout after they went 0 for 14. I think LA beat Nashville in a shootout yesterday.
Yeah, of course they went to a shootout. They've gone to a shootout every game this year when they played each other. Like,
I think
this
32
summarizes their
times
two
they've
teams.
been to overtime, like beyond regulation. The Kings have. It's almost
Wow.
half your games, man.
Gotta get rid of the loser point because that's what causes that. It gets tied with 5 minutes to go, and these guys take off the gas.
No, we got at least 1 point going for us, so no need to try. And they didn't really even try in overtime anymore. It's like, we'll just go to shootout. We'll take our chances there, I guess.
And then it gets decided by a skills contest. Yay!
The Flyers are beating the Devils 4-1 right now, and if the Flyers can keep this up, we might have a Battle of Pennsylvania first round. Which I originally at first I thought the last time that happened was 2012, but it was actually 2018. I forget they played each other in the first round. Everyone remembers 2012, and for a right reason. But yeah, 2018 was just the Penguins beating the Flyers.
That was your Claude Giroux at 100 points. People forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, you know what? You want to know why people forget that? Because people remember the second round that year. Way more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so. That was a great series as well.
People also forget that the Capitals were like overtime goal away from being down 3 out of the Blue Jackets round 1.
Oh, yeah.
Year.
Oh,
crazy. Yeah. Oh, good year of hockey.
This
year might be a good year of hockey too when we get to the playoffs. It's just like, let's be honest. Like, how many teams are like peeing down their leg right now? Like, I can name 5 off the top of my head. Anaheim. All right. Anaheim, Detroit, Columbus, the Islanders. That's 4.
Yeah.
And then
Detroit's got to be number 1, no?
What?
Detroit's got to be number 1 at that.
Oh, yeah. Like, big time. I just think Anaheim, I thought they had the division locked up at one point, and they just pissed it away. But, yeah. And then Washington, man. Washington had a perfect chance to get back in this, and they blew it. Like, I don't know. There's going to be at least 4 or 5 teams that are going to look at their team this offseason and be like, what the fuck? Like, how did we not string together 4 or 5 wins here or there? You know what I mean? And that's why we always joke, like, those games in October, they matter as much as people like to say they don't. Because, God, wouldn't you love to have that game that you blew against the Blackhawks back or you blew against the Canucks back? Because there are those games. They're definitely out there for a lot of these teams. Yeah, there's going to be some teams looking back and just really shaking their head this year. Like, how bad do you think the Islanders are shaking their head over that Blackhawks game this year?
That might cost them the playoff spots right then and there. Like, that might be the difference.
Yep. That's why you got to take care of business against the bad teams. Can't phone it in every night. Every team's good, especially in this league, especially this year. Fuck, Columbus or Vancouver beat Colorado. Like,
what was it, 8-6?
Yeah, just crazy. Like, what? Like, not a real sport. Like I said, just this whole season's a fever dream. Oh my God.
I think I saw something. The Canucks have only won 8 games. An insane tank job.
Honestly, masterclass.
Yeah, they're 8-26-5. Oh yeah, it is a masterclass, but trading away Quinn Hughes does help that a lot. And Elias Pettersson just being awful now.
Yeah, they really are just terrible. And they're gonna get someone good. I just don't know who they're gonna take. Like if they have pick one, I don't know who they're taking. Which
That's
is kind of
what like.
crazy. Because I feel like most teams that they have one,
Mm-hmm.
but not Vancouver.
That's why I'm like, if they get first overall and the Hawks are picking 2 or 3, I probably feel a little better about that than other team. Like if another team is picking first
Yeah, if the
overall.
Hawks are picking 3, I still don't feel good about it.
Yeah, you just want Stenberg or McKenna. Like they need that so badly. We need it so badly.
So when the Leafs get 2 and take Veerhoff,
I just got here.
we gotta keep the
You
pick,
wanna-
guys, because I just got here. We gotta make a pick. We need a right-handed shot. It's all we've needed.
Okay,
God,
I think that's a
most
great
Leafs thing
way.
ever. God, please
That's a
get
great way
2.
to transition to the Leafs firing Brad Trevangelian.
Rest in power. Rest in power, Brad Trevangelion. Best name in the game. What a terrible GM, though. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Just malpractice across the board. And the worst part is the beginning of the malpractice is not his fault because he just got here. And it's Shanahan's fault because this all goes, like we always say, it always goes back to not trading Mitch Marner before that no move kicked in. So what do? You bring in a new GM a month before you got to do it. It's never going to happen. And then you lose trade value on one of your best assets. That's probably how you could have got your right-handed shot in hindsight. And, a couple mid moves later, you do what the 2017 Blackhawks tried to do. I think you've compared them to them ad nauseum.
I think they are a mixture of the 17-18 Hawks and the 21-22 Hawks, the two worst Hawks teams you can think of. Like mixing shit and piss together.
But it's true because that Hawks team lost Panarin and Hossa, and they had 60 goals between the two of them. That's not even accounting
that in the aggregate.
Yeah, we're going to recreate them in the aggregate and get 3 20-goal guys. You know what they all did? Not score 20 goals. You know what the Leafs tried to do? The exact same shit. And it didn't work because guess what? It's really going to be really hard to get a guy who, let's be honest, he beat cancer or he beat fucking, what did he have? Sorry. I apologize. I missed.
Are we talking about Dakota Joshua?
Yes, I misquoted on Dakota Joshua. But it's a guy who missed hockey for a long time. And let's be honest, he only had one good year of that point total. And then you have Nick Waugh, who, let's be honest, has never put up that point total. And then we have who else? Oh, yes, Matias Maccelli, who has done it once ever and is an analytic darling and was still getting scratched on Utah and got scratched here. I don't know, man. I just think it was a terrible mismanagement of assets. You bring in the right players and then you don't extend them. Like, how do you come away with extending Domi and not Bertuzzi? We'll never know that. But thanks for messing that one up, bud. We appreciate it in Chicago. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of bad decisions stacked on top of each other. And then the worst part is you did make an entire move to the deadline and you sat on your hands 2 deadlines in a row and it shows twice. Yeah, missed the boat twice, didn't do his homework twice, and that's what's resulting in them potentially not picking in the top 5 this year, or the top 10, I guess, in this case. And it's what's going to result in them probably having to retool or rebuild in the next couple of years because they have 0 assets in the cupboard, all resulting in getting to a Game 7 in round 2. So you tell me, is that a successful tenure? I don't think so.
Well, they made the playoffs. They had the longest playoff streak, which I find like 2020
hysterical.
Messes with that a lot because they count the play-in as the playoffs when technically it wasn't. Because anytime we're talking about the Hawks, well, they made the playoffs in 2020. No, they didn't. They won the play-in round against the Oilers, LOL. They haven't made the playoffs in a full season since 2017, so it's been almost a decade. But yeah, the Leafs were in the playoffs every year besides that, and sure, if you want to count that, yeah, now you're missing this year.
With the Leafs, I mean, Leafs fans could tell you ad nauseum, this starts way higher. It starts with MLSE. It starts with Rogers. It starts with the fact that they have one guy running 9 teams or something. Like, that's just not conceivable. And the fact that they thought they could go into this season, a year where they fired Brendan Shanahan, who, let's be honest, in a team like this, you're going to need a president. It's just the reality of the situation. I know some teams with the power structure, like you look at kind of like what Pittsburgh's doing, Kyle Dubas kind of does both. But like some teams, it's not necessary. With a team like this, where they're so corporate and everything is really not delegated properly, you kind of need a president in this situation. But what's Rogers doing right now? They're making a shit ton of cuts. So those two just don't add up. Like they cut their whole analytic department and now they want to hire an analytic GM. Like I just find that very hard to believe right now. You know, you could say one thing, but your actions speak way louder than your words. So, you know, they hired a committee to help them get a new GM, but from what all I've read is it sounds like it's going to lead to that AGM for Florida. So
I
that's
forget his
interesting.
name, but
It's Sonny
from
something. I forget his last name, but he basically runs the analytics department for Florida for the last couple years, which I would think is pretty good considering some of the moves they've made the last couple years.
Winning a couple cups. Yeah.
But also you need a president. I really do think so. The fact that like Craig Berube was calling shots with the GM and there was no one above them, I think is hilarious in hindsight because neither are going to be here next year. If Craig Berube is here next year, I'd genuinely be shocked. He's literally killing the best goal scorer we've had since Alex Ovechkin. But you know, I'm just not even going to get into that right now. Like everyone on the team got worse once he got here. I know they won their division title last year. Go look at their analytics. Like they got outshot the hell every fucking game. Brady Tkachuk has 4 assists. Wow. Okay. Like my fantasy ticker just keeps going off every 3 minutes with an assist from Brady. Like this is crazy. But yeah, like at the end of the day, all these mistakes pile up and it leads to where they are now. And to be honest, I don't know if a retool is the answer here, especially with Matthews only locked up 2 more years. Like you're gonna have to really make some big decisions this offseason. And if you don't, like, you better just pray to God your big boys are ready to stick around for some bullshit for the next year or two. Because if they're not, you're really gonna have to look for that trade. I think it will have to happen because you can't let Matthews walk for nothing. If it's gonna come to that, if he's not gonna resign here. And it, you know, trading Austin Matthews, I think I think that might break the entire city of Toronto. I think parts of Toronto would welcome that with open arms, which I think is delusional. But
what?
The
Who
fact
would
that even
welcome
like
that
that is
part?
ridiculous. There's so many little steps that got this to this point. And I just pray that like they get a new coach in there and all the big guys are healthy and you know you get some real defensemen back there with some speed and can skate and you know your 2 goalies that were the 2 best goalies last year aren't the 2 worst goalies this year. You know that usually are pretty good signs for like we always talk about regression to the mean. That might just happen with the Leafs, not in terms of like them being great, but like in terms of like there's probably a team in between the team they are this year and the team that, you know, had like 112 or 114 points or something like that. And how you get there, I'm not the one that gets paid to do that. The assets are going to be interesting. You'd like to see them get off Morgan Riley. I don't know how you do it, but
I don't think that's happening unless like because he controls his destiny there, and even if they do like shit talk him and make him feel bad into waiving his no move clause, who's gonna want to take that on? Like it's not gonna end well. You're probably gonna have to eat some of that. But that's probably that would be my main concern as
if you're Edmonton, do you do Riley for Nurse?
Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely, I would.
You want to talk about a trade that would set Canada on fire?
Yeah, it would be. It would just be like South Park, but like the states didn't do anything. It's just Canada doing all the fighting. It's
all for Larson, but it's Larson for Larson. That Larson's actually better than both of them, bro. Congrats on Adam Larson, by the way. Played 1,000 games now.
Good for him. I think I could be wrong, but I think I saw he's the only person from that class to hit 1,000 games. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I think Nuge actually hit 1,000, so I think I'm wrong. I don't know, but crazy. That was 15 years ago.
Because like, isn't that Kucherov's draft? Like Kucherov's not at 1,000 yet, so.
Yep. I believe
a lot of these guys in that draft came along pretty later in their career. Like, yeah. There's like Forsberg might be close. Or is he a year
Forsberg's
before?
2012. He's
Yeah, a year
2012.
before. Gaudreau would have been there, which sucks. A couple other guys, I think, was missing. Wait, Seth Jones, isn't he 1,000?
No, he's 2013, and he's been
wrong year.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front
2011
of me,
through 2013 is such a blur for the draft for me. Like
it's really
2014 afterwards, I can like rattle off, but I don't know, man. 2011 through 2013, I get my years mixed up so easily, and I think it's just because there's not like a, like a high end.
No, there's
talent.
not a clear number one guy. I don't know, like, well, in the case of 2011, it would be Kucherov now, and should have been Johnny Gaudreau. But like 2012, I think the best player to come out of that class is Vasilevsky. 2013, you got McKinnon, you got Barkov. Like that's different.
Seth Jones.
Even 2010, like
Tyler.
Yeah, I think those are the best guys. I don't know if I can't think of anyone else. Anyways, how did we get to this point? I don't know.
I don't know.
Speaking of drafts from
the Leafs need to retool, and if I'm being honest, the best way to retool is like probably trade Matt Knies for that right-handed shot. I'd be calling up New Jersey, be trying to get Simon Nemec very fast.
It's the Hawks in 2022. DeBrincat's your most valuable asset
because he has no trade protection.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think it'd be Nemec plus. So I think you can get a forward back too. Like if it's Nemec and Mercer for Knies.
Oh, 100%.
I think you do that.
I don't know if the Devils do though.
The Devils are going to be needing something, man. They need another forward. Have you seen Timo Meier's stat line this year, bro? Mid. Like if Connor Brown wasn't on like a crazy second half, like I think this guy has 30 points in his last 30 games. He's been on just like a quiet, crazy heater. If that doesn't happen, they have no secondary scoring outside of like Hughes, Bratt, and Hischier, like at all. So secondary scoring is definitely a problem. They definitely, I believe, are one of the teams sniffing around Matt Knies, and let's be honest, they have more red-handed defensemen than they know what to do with. Like Seamus Casey, once again, is still an afterthought on that team. Maybe he's not good enough to crack that roster, but how will we ever know? Because Jonathan Kovacevic is their fourth best fucking D-man on that side. Like, whatever. We can take Brendan Dillon off their hands, though. I'll take that.
I'll take Brendan Dillon. Get yourself a Hawks Dillon jersey.
I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it like that. I was just thinking bruising left-handed defenseman, but yeah, that works too. Yeah. Fucking narcissist over here, Dylan Blackhawks jersey. Holy shit.
Now we gotta get Nate Schmidt from Utah, and then both of us get a Dylan and a Schmidt jersey, and we sit sit next to each other.
I'm here to see my boys play.
I'm crying.
Oh God.
Okay,
the Utah-Chicago rivalry takes another level. There's no Chud with a podcast. Just kidding. All right.
My Chud life, bro. The boys coming out later. I pulled up this article about Sonny Mata. I believe that's how you say his name, who is assistant GM of the Florida Panthers. Sonny Mehta, then the Devils director of hockey analytics, and a statistical model that ranked players before the draft. To bring it back to the Leafs, and we were even talking about the Devils. The model's final rankings, according to a team source, put Austin Matthews as the number one player in the class, Patrick Laine at number 2, and Jesper Bratt at number 3. Mehta, now an assistant general manager with the Panthers, was skeptical about that high ranking. But after New Jersey took Michael McLeod in the first round and Nathan Bastian in the second, he started pushing hard for Bratt. The upside was there, and the Devils finally took their swing in the 6th round. And I believe he was in the NHL within a year. Like, I think because it was 2016, played a year in Sweden, and then made the NHL after that, which is crazy because they made the playoffs that year.
Right?
17-18.
Yep.
And that's when Taylor Hall won the Hart. Remember that?
Once again, 2016 draft class. Like everyone talks about 2015. Bro, 2016 is just as good. People just don't talk about it as highly because Dubois has got a bad attitude and Laine's just a one-trick pony. But the rest of that class is nuts. Like Zach Werenski, Mikko Rantanen, Matthew Tkachuk, Charlie McAvoy. Like, oh my God.
No, isn't Rantanen and
Oh, is
Rantanen
Rantanen
and Werenski
15?
are 2015 and Werenski, yeah.
What?
But like 2016,
Oh
it's
wait, no. Well, Pavel
McAvoy,
Zacha's
yeah.
in this one.
No, he's 2015.
Dude, I suck at drafts today. I'm sorry.
I know you're all good.
I'm washed.
No, it's definitely not 2015 level. Well, 2016 had their player. The Brinkett went that year. Jordan Kyrou in the second round too. Like there were some guys. Absolutely. Matthews, Keller is another really good
Keller's
one.
who I'm missing. That's
Matthew
definitely one of the guys I was
Tkachuk.
missing.
Yeah, Chikrin was in that draft too. Yeah, decent draft.
Good players.
And Tage Thompson.
Bust.
Yeah, well, just a afterthought on the Ryan O'Reilly trade never amounted to anything. And the Sabres are still in their playoff drought.
Both teams
because they didn't
totally
get anything
regret
out of
that
it.
trade.
Yeah, and the Blues didn't win the cup, and now they've gone into a full-on rebuild, and now they're back now. To wrap it up with Toronto, I think it's I think and specifically the Leafs need that kind of structure with having like the president who's more like the big picture, and then having the GM who does the everyday tasks. Like I think they're talking about it on the Dangle podcast how Doug Armstrong might be the president of hockey operations, and then you just get, I don't know, say Sonny Manda from the Florida Panthers, and you get him to do the GM job, and get Doug Armstrong for the most part to stay out of the hockey stuff, because when Brendan Shanahan did that with not trading Mitch Marner or any of the core four, and nixing Brandon Hagel and Fleury to the Leafs for Matthew Nyes and who else knows what.
Could have been just that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in reality, it would have been Matt Nyes and Sam Renzel, because it probably would have been that first.
Ah! I wish the good Lord would take me away. Go into the kitchen,
shit.
grab the carving knife, stab me right here, right here.
Well, my day's ruined. All right, thanks for bringing that memory up from the brain.
You are so welcome. It's exposure therapy right now. But yeah, I wonder if they are like the 2022 Hawks and the new GM's like, fuck, we gotta rebuild here, and our most valuable asset is Matthew Nyes, and they offload that. Like, obviously New Jersey would be a great location, and again, just so with the Hawks, especially if they're drafting another defenseman, they can trade one of those right-handed defensemen for Matthew Nyes, absolutely. And let me read off the ages of their defense. Like forwards, I think they're fine, obviously, if they keep Matthews and Nylander, and I think, and even if you keep Nyes, Tavares is still good.
I think Callens look good.
East Cow, absolutely.
Downtown East Cow.
They still got Nick Robertson, and I feel like they got someone else that I'm forgetting.
Domi.
I might be wrong though. No, I feel like they had another young forward, but I don't know. Defenseman. Let me read off the ages of their defensemen. Morgan Riley, 32. Jake McCabe, 32. Chris Tanev, 36. He might not play another NHL game. OEL, 34. You probably should have traded him. Brendan Carlo is 29, so he's a little younger. Benoit is 27. Like, a bunch of your depth guys are in their late 20s, but you don't really have young defenseman coming up that's in their early 20s. I think the closest thing you have is Ben Danford at 20, but I don't know if he's going to be anything more than a bottom pairing guy. But maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, they have no depth. And guess what? They have no way to get it. So
nope. And the best way to do that would probably be trading Matthew Nyes.
I mean, he's your only real asset. Like, the hell? You
Yeah,
can't
'cause
trade
if
Jake
you-
McCabe. He signed for 6 more years.
That's crazy. Till 2030. All those guys, Riley, McCabe, and Tatum, are signed till 2030, and they're in their mid-30s.
There's a reason that guy got fired.
36.
There's a reason that guy
Yeah.
got fired.
And the deadline, getting a third for Lon, I think he could. Their Leafs fans are cheering for the Kings to make the playoffs, because I think they get a second if if the Kings make it. They did get a first round pick for Nick Wall, which is solid, but I think I did see that they were trying to do what the Hawks were doing and take on Mangiapane, get a first, and they weren't able to do that. So, yeah.
Well, they can take on Mangiapane when we get Knives. Don't worry. We can still get him.
It could still happen. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you're not winning an Austin Matthews trade, obviously, and
Not winning a
and that's
Knives trade, probably.
no, but I
let's be
feel
honest.
that's the best bang you can get for your buck. I think is the best way to put it. Like you're still gonna get a decent return for Matthew Knives. Like Austin Matthews, if you trade him, it's probably him requesting a trade, and you're trading him to where he wants to go, and you're getting minimal for that. I think the best value would be trading Matthew Knives.
Yeah. You got to get that defenseman, young defenseman somehow in there, and he's going to be the guy to do it. God, that's just tough pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Nick Suzuki, you're a terrorist. You guys could have lost. Tying him with 22 seconds left. Are you serious?
Oh no! It's
Be
like
so serious. Be so serious.
I am super serial. It's the Wild game all over again, where the Panthers tied in, and what was it? Eriksson Ek with 5 seconds left. Most unethical tanking ever.
Bunch of jerks. But enough about the Hurricanes. There's a lot of close games. Boston tied it up. That's huge.
Did they? It was 5-3 when I last saw it.
Yeah, Zacha just got his 30th of the year. Quite a 70-point season, by the way, from Pavel Zacha. Like,
dude, the Bruins have some underrated depth. I think they got a lot of guys that are like 15 goals and above. I was reading something like that.
Then they just got this like James Higgins guy coming up too. Don't worry about him.
They haven't signed him to an actual contract yet. I think they just have
because they don't want to waste his third year.
I would if you're in the thick of a playoff run like this.
No, I thought it was. I think I read because it's like they don't want to fuck up the line chemistry, which is arguably worse. But whatever.
No, are you kidding me?
Like,
no,
it's arguably worse, honestly. No, we don't have a spot to put him, and we don't want to put him on the fourth line. Wet fart.
What? Do you have any more closing thoughts on the Leafs?
No.
All right.
No.
We talked about the Devils a little bit. What are we thinking about the Devils firing? Oh, I don't even think it's fire. I think they just parted ways. Well, it's a euphemism of them getting rid of Tom Fitzgerald.
This team lives and dies by Jack Hughes. And when he gets
that is
hurt,
the best contract in the NHL. No.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's that and Matt Boldy. Matt Boldy's a very good contract. But yeah, it's gotta be Jack
Boldy's
Hughes.
Gonna be a 50-50 guy making 7.
That's fucking crazy, dude. He's starting to pitch it.
No. But no, the Devils, it's like I feel like every year the Devils just made a move that made your head scratch or made you want to scratch your head. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like 3 years in a row. I feel like this all started the moment they drafted Simon Nemec 2nd overall. Made no sense the day they did it.
Should have taken Gauthier, Cutter Gauthier. That would have been a good fit with them.
Bro, they could have taken Logan fucking Cooley. Like,
yeah, that's what I said before.
Sorry. But
yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
No, but like that's the point. Like, could have taken Matt Savoy, like could have taken all these high-end forwards at the time, and you chose to take a right-handed defenseman, which at the time, let's just put in the context, you just signed one in free agency for $9 million for 7 years. Then you went and this is when you still had Damon Severson. You still had him locked up for a couple of years. And then on top of that, you went and got Jonathan Kovacevic afterwards. And then you signed Brett Pesce to a 5-year deal. It's a log jam on that side. And throughout all that, there's little things. You found Jonas Siegenthaler. Becomes a great shutdown D-man for you. Great story.
Awesome.
Signed him for 8 years. That's awesome. Brendan Dillon becomes your third pairing guy. That's awesome. Luke Hughes. You think he becomes the guy. You pay him $9 million, and now you have this weird logjam where, let's be honest, Luke Hughes probably shouldn't be in this lineup he should be in this lineup. But you get my point. There are nights where he is a liability on this team, and he's just going to be taking the blows.
He's not playing to
making
what he
$9
could be
million.
for a $9 million contract. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like I think it's perfect comp is Jackson Lacombe right now. Jackson Lacombe is about to have a 60-point year on defense.
That's
And he's an
fucking
Olympian.
crazy, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how when you looked at those 3 puck movers in Anaheim, he's the one that became the best. Out of him,
That's
Zellweger,
what the
and
Hawks
Nick
need. I think a lot of teams do, but yeah.
Wyatt Kaiser. Wyatt
Oh,
Kaiser
could
when he
you
stops
imagine?
throwing a pizza to the blue line every other game. But no, but there's just so many head scratching moves. And then there's moves where it made sense. Like they're gonna make the playoffs. They go trade for Timo Meyer. I still like that
do
move.
that. Yeah.
Still like that move.
That can
Still
be
do that move.
salvaged.
But and I guess this is more Nashville, but like fuck, you could have used Ryan O'Reilly last year. Like then you have moves where let's be honest, like they never fixed the goaltending. Their biggest solution was getting Jake Allen on a 5-year deal, which is still kind of crazy.
What the
but like,
fuck is that? 1.8 till
and then
2030.
their big move to fix goalie is Markstrom, who I think summarizes this team perfectly. Because one night he could be the best goalie you've ever seen, and the Devils are dropping 6 on your head, and you're like, how the hell is this team not in the playoffs? And then the next night they get pumped.
How's this team
5-1
not running the
Markstrom-
Metro?
Exactly. And then the next night they get pumped 5-1 and Markstrom let in 4 goals on 20 shots. And you're just like, oh, okay, that's why. That makes more sense. They're so inconsistent. And I don't know if that starts. I mean, obviously it starts with the players. They've had 4 different coaches now. But I mean, God, yeah, I think someone pointed it out best. Hughes got killed and no one stood up for him. Or I think maybe one person did, Brendan Dillon. He came out and got an instigator, but I don't know, man. I think it's a case of they play soft and they're inconsistent, and that's not a good combination. And unfortunately, they're kind of fragile too. So, and it sucks because individually there's such good talent on that team. Jack Hughes, I think, is on one of the quietest tears in the NHL right now.
Jasper
he's been on
Bratt might be the most underrated player in the NHL now.
I'd argue Nico Hischier might be too. That guy's a Selke candidate every year. Perennial 70 point guy every year. Jesper Bratt, 80 to 90 point guy every year. This is a down year for him, and I think he's going to 70 points.
Sweetheart of a contract, 7.8. This is what
that's the positives of Fitzgerald. He was good in the contract room outside of Luke Hughes, in my opinion. But I think that's more circumstance when he signed that deal. So I'll cut him some slack, but I don't know, man. With all those great moves, their bottom 6 looked like shit for 4 years. Let's be honest. It was never that good. And I'm I find it very hard to believe that Michael McLeod was the straw that stirred the drink in that bottom 6. Because that was a story at one point. And I just don't believe that. They tried all these little things. And I think it's the little hiccups along the way that make you question it. Right? You look at the Alex Holtzes of his tenure.
Oh, the drafting has been bad.
Yeah.
Outside of, I don't think Fitzgerald was there for Hischier.
But it's the development of Holtz is more what I'm talking about. Where this guy probably should have been a top 6 winger for you, and he never got the chance. And if you did, you misused him with the minutes, and then you ended up trading him for Paul Cotter, which at the time made 0 sense. And you lost that trade. I think that was a lose-lose trade. Actually, Vegas probably won that because they got Schmid, and Schmid has actually been one of their only goalies with the Pulse the last couple of years.
Goaltending.
Yeah. But traded their one good goalie. The one that won them a playoff round, mind you.
Yep.
I think there's just one step forward, 2 steps back every time in New Jersey. And they're going to be one of those teams that I'm watching really closely this offseason because they just got pumped by the Flyers, one of their rivals right down the road, and they're going to miss the playoffs. That might have just eliminated them from the playoffs, if we're being honest. And questions are going to be had. Nico Hischier is a free agent in 2027, and that contract's, I would imagine, double digits. Dougie Hamilton his name was in trade rumors all year, but he has a no move.
He's pissed off.
He's pissed off, but he has a no move.
Yeah.
He's going to go wherever he wants to go. You have no leverage. It's another one of those teams
just beat the Red Wings in a
salivating
shootout.
at the mouth looking at. I'm so serious. because there's going to be some of these teams that get no, and this is going to be one of those teams that gets a top 5 pick, and it's just going to save their ass. Like, and it won't, because it like, what is another right-handed defenseman going to do for this team? Nothing. You don't even know what to do with the one you have now. Like, Simon Nemec is going to be an RFA, and this guy is on a 40-point pace, technically, playing third pairing minutes. You don't even know what to do with this guy. You can't even put him in the lineup every night. It's just a crazy use of assets, or and it every time you think, okay, well, now it's going to make sense, they go and sign a guy to a 4-year extension. So then the logjam comes right back. And while all this logjam's going on in the back end, you have no winger depth. Fuck, man, is this like what the Hawks are going to look like in 5 years? God, this looks like. God, that's terrifying.
That's why I kind of.
Sorry.
That's why I was kind of like grimacing a little bit, because I'm like, this could be the Blackhawks by the end of the draft if they
Kyle
take
David,
another
look in the
defenseman
fucking
and
mirror.
they don't
This
do
is what
anything.
could happen to you down the line.
Yeah.
And guess what? Getting second and third and all these picks down the line did not save their ass late in the rebuild. They got 2 number 1 picks in 3 years. I guess Buffalo did too, or 2 and 4, but that's not the point.
If I may, I would like to go over their drafting since 2015.
Fire
2015, 6th overall, they got Pavel Zacha, and I think that should speak to you that you drafted him 6th overall. Yeah, he's gone to Boston. What a trade that's been for Boston. Like
that's another one.
Dude, does Boston have the best pro scouting in the NHL? Like, it's certainly up there.
Yeah, but the GM's a clown, so like I don't know who to give respect to. But like, dude, Boston got 51 points out of Victor Arvidsson, and that was a contract dump. Or like just like a guy who got cut.
Almost 30 goal scorer.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a cap dump.
Yep. Cap dump.
I do want to talk about the Bruins later, but
the
back
Bruins.
to the Bruins. 2015, they guess which goalie they drafted in the second round of 2015?
That Blackwood?
Yep. You bet. It's another goalie they could have kept.
Okay, I'm not gonna. Yes and no, because like Blackwood had a couple stops before he became what he was.
Yeah,
and he's on a great Colorado team. But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I get where you're coming from.
That's a goalie. Like, he didn't even have to be good. He could have just been decent, and they could have kept him. Yeah. Because wasn't he in San Jose and then he got traded to Colorado or something?
That's what I mean. Like, he had a stop along the way, but
yeah,
there's a reason he's in Colorado now, and there's a reason he's excelling.
Yeah. 2016, first 3 picks were Michael McLeod, Nathan Bastian, oof to both. Joey Anderson was their 3rd round pick, and then we talked about earlier in the 6th round, Jesper Bratt. 2017 layup, you got Nico Hischier 1st overall. 2018, Ty Smith, that has not worked out. I think they traded him to the Penguins. I think that's where he is now. I don't even know. That should say something that we don't know.
Ty Smith,
they drafted Igor Sharangovich in the 5th round in 2018. That's a great pick. But then they traded him for Tyler Toffoli, and then they let go of Toffoli, I think. I can't remember, but that's a guy they could have kept on that team. I know he's not there anymore. 2019, another layup, Jack Hughes 1st overall. 2020, Alex Holtz, kind of a bust at 7th.
And Dawson Mercer.
Dawson Mercer, that is a solid pick. Like, not amazing, but a solid pick.
He's played every game since he's been in the league. So that's a win in itself. I mean, you got a player who's played 400 games. That's fucking awesome.
And like half a point per game. Yeah, like he's the ultimate what looks like 2020 guy, because he's got 101 goals in 405 games. So like just the perfect middle 6 guy, I guess, second liner.
You need those.
Yeah, absolutely.
If like the Devils had 2 more of those, they might be a playoff team.
2021, Luke Hughes, they drafted. Like 2021 is so tough because like just
I don't really
COVID years,
discredit them in the COVID years.
Yeah, but man, 2022, Simon Nemec, dude, you could have had Logan Cooley, you could have had Cutter Gauthier, and yeah, they haven't really had too many draft picks, or at least high draft picks since then. 2023, they didn't have
Well, that's when I
first.
started thinking they were good.
Yeah, 2024, Anton Silyaev. That's another defenseman they drafted.
The guy who might be on the block this offseason.
Which is crazy.
Like, I don't know, man. It's like bringing up prospects too early. It's log jamming positions where you really shouldn't have. Like you said, it's fears of what could happen for the Blackhawks if they don't use their assets properly. But at the same time, like, the last thing you want to do is waste the best contract in the NHL. Because I promise you, Jack Hughes, by the time that deal's done, is going to want double. And he's going to be in every right to ask for double.
He'll be worth
by
it.
the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the cap will be at a point to where it makes sense. But, like, you really got to take advantage of this. Like, you have a number one center making $8 million. Fucking do something with it. And keep him healthy, for God's sake. Like, maybe don't let him eat with the steak knife at dinner. I don't know.
With Frank the Tank, I'm pretty sure he was there at that dinner. That's the thing with a lot of the injuries with Hughes. It's it's like a hex was placed on him. That there's some kind of curse. Like you can't explain that. And he's still 72 points in 56 games. I think you mentioned earlier. I'm pretty sure he has the most points of anyone since the Olympics, and it's fitting because he was the guy who got the big goal. So
coming out swinging after the break.
Back tears.
But yeah, one of the hottest players in the NHL, and it doesn't matter because they're so far out of a playoff spot that it's a joke because they can't. It's one of those teams that just can't string together 3 wins in a row. And what's crazy is they were one of the hottest teams for like a week or two, and it just didn't matter. Like I said, they're getting one of the craziest second halves out of Connor Brown we've ever seen. Connor Brown's about to shatter his career high in points, and all that's like after the new year, but it doesn't matter. So hopefully the new GM can be smart with these assets because you got a shit ton of them right now, and you're probably gonna have a top 10 pick that you should be trading, or at least looking to acquire a winger that is good. Like I said, they're one of my most intriguing teams to watch this offseason. I'm very curious to see who comes in at GM and, what direction they want to take this team.
Yeah, I think any of these teams that just barely miss the playoffs and make any changes, whether that's to their managerial core, like general manager or coaching, are going to be interesting to watch. And again, a team Kyle Davidson should be calling. Kind of earlier we were talking about the Leafs. Well, how are they gonna structure things? Who's gonna be in what role? With the Leafs, I think it was Doug Armstrong in the president of hockey operations. One name I saw, and I think it was from Greg Wyshynski, and he's plugged in with the Devils. Is Brendan Shanahan might be a fit there. Speaking of former Leafs executives. I don't know if I'd go that with what happened in Toronto, but maybe
Shanahan and Keith. Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's right. They have Keith too. More
Keith,
things change.
No coincidence that he's had 2 of the softer teams since started coaching. Part of which isn't his fault, but it's funny that it happened twice. Just saying.
Do we want to stick? Unless you have any more.
Devils did get eliminated, by the way.
They did? Okay.
Yeah, and they have 40 wins. They have more wins than probably like 2 teams that'll make the playoffs in the West. Hate this sport.
Like, again, just take the carving knife and stab it in my heart. Like,
Vegas is going to make the playoffs with like 39 wins. You know that, right?
The most they can get is 40 wins, Vegas, which I'm pretty sure is the lowest in their franchise history. They missed the playoffs with more wins before.
Terrible. Abolish the loser point.
Oh, we're long overdue, but it feels this year in particular has just been the worst for it.
Terrible.
Like the amount of teams in the East that would be running the Pacific Division and are barely a wild card team.
Bro, the Leafs would have been in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
As pathetic as it sounds. Like Washington would be comfortably in first place in the Pacific.
Yeah, they're tied with Edmonton.
Yeah, like
And
this is. I
Anaheim.
pray to God this never happens again.
The Islanders
league
have
is
more
lopsided.
points, which is the next team I want to talk about, have more points than the Oilers, and they might miss the playoffs. And they fired their head coach and replaced him with Pete DeBoer. When they originally, and it was a different regime when I think Lou Lamoriello was there, when they hired Patrick Waugh, that was so surprising and out of nowhere, and so was this one. We're going to talk about the Vegas one. I feel there was more rumblings about Vegas. This one kind of came out of nowhere, and yeah, looking at the position where they at, I can see why. And down the stretch, and I think losing that game against Chicago definitely played a part in it. And the Hawks beat the Kraken on, well, I don't even remember what day it was at this point, but got kind of effectively like ended their chance of maybe getting a wild card spot and making the playoffs. And I wanted them to beat San Jose yesterday just to deal blow to their playoff chances. But yeah, Pete DeBoer on Long Island. What are we thinking about that?
Something else bigger had to have been going on. I know since they've gotten Braden Shen, they've been under 500, so that's of note.
I never was a fan of the Braden Shen trade, to be honest. Like,
I was gonna say I never was a fan of Patrick Waugh as the coach, but yeah, that too.
Well, yeah.
I don't think the trade
okay, well,
made sense.
he has
either.
10 points in 15 games, which isn't horrible, but
I'm more concerned about the record, but
yeah, that's
they're also playing.
That's
their
what matters the
18
most.
32 minutes a night. I think that's a red flag, but I don't know, man. I just think I think it's the way he was icing the roster. I think there must have been some disconnect between him and management. I mean, Matthew Darsh has clearly already proven that he's not a GM to be fucked with. Guy's gonna make a decision. Guy's gonna make trades when needed to, and he's gonna pick a direction when needed to. And clearly, the direction here was he wanted a different voice in the room. And Patrick Waugh might be one of those guys that just has a shelf life as a coach. I mean, he kind of had a shelf life in Colorado.
Does.
But
so is Pete DeBoer.
I mean, if we're being honest, like Patrick Waugh just kind of felt like a long-term interim coach. He came as an interim. They kind of just like kept him an extra year, and then they kept him another extra. Like they haven't had a real voice in there since Barry Trotz. They had Lane Lambert, and then they had, obviously, Patrick Waugh. But I think Pete DeBoer brings a veteran presence to a very veteran filled out team. Granted, when the kids start coming into this team, I think Pete DeBoer is going to be a little more interesting. But for where they are right now, which is a very veteran dominated team accompanied by an 18-year-old phenom, it's a pretty good coach for that spot. Now, this makes me think that Pete DeBoer was interviewing with a couple other teams because I don't know. I think you just opened Pandora's box with firing coaches this late in the year, especially when you're in the hunt.
I think Fried said that Utah was looking at DeBoer earlier in the year when they were kind of struggling, but now that they wrote the ship, they have stuck with Tierney. I believe that's how you say his name, Andre Tierney. Mm-hmm. Which
they are one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the sport too, for Utah at least. So the big turnaround for them.
I hate that they're in our division. Anyways, I need to pull up. I need to know where on the list Jeff Blashill is in terms of longest tenured coaches, even though he hasn't coached a full season with the Hawks yet, because just more and more every year we're seeing coaches just get axed with no problems. Will I pull this up? I need to find out who's the longest tenured coach. Blah 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 blah. I see him. Can't seem to find
the longest tenured John Cooper. No, it's just a
they're talking about it on the Dangle podcast that it's probably good he hasn't won a Jack Adams award yet, because that is just the kiss of death.
Yeah, most Jack Adams winners get fired in like a year or 2 or 3.
You overperformed and you got very good goaltending. We expect you to do that again. Oh, you didn't? Okay, off you go.
I always just think of Bob Hartley.
Oh my God, Bob Hartley.
It's like always the first person I think of when I think of the Jack Adams. I don't know why, but I think it's just because they were such a flash in the pan team.
Like Cardiac Flames, baby.
That was a fun team, though. Yuri
With Monahan,
Hudler, electric
Gaudreau,
in
and Yuri
fantasy in
Hudler.
2015. Don't even
Yeah.
get me started.
All right. So, yeah, the longest tenured coach is John Cooper, and it's not even close. March 25th, 2013. Next closest, Jared Bednar, August of 2016. I didn't know it's been that long. Well, I guess he was there for that awful 16-17
Yep.
season that they had, and they wrote the ship to his credit. And I think, well, they're hoping they're going on another deep playoff run. Rod Brendamore has been there since 2018. I think you and I have kind of talked about it. I think they have a bit of a ceiling with the Hurricanes, but they're there every year and they win around every year. So I mean, can't argue with that too much. And I also think a lot of that can be on the general managers. And then we fast forward 4 calendar years. Marty St. Louis is the 4th longest tenured coach, was hired in February of 2022. Paul Maurice hired in June of 2022. And then, yeah, Spencer Carberry is, I could go on and on and on. The list is crazy. Where is Jeff Blashill? So Jeff Blashill is like, there are 8 coaches that have been hired since Jeff Blashill's been hired.
Yeah, that's fucked.
So he's almost out of the bottom 10 and like shortest tenured coaches.
Dude, he'll
And
be
he
on the
might-
upper half by like this time next year.
Oh,
1000%.
easily. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just shows that,
Because-
and it's every sport, these coaches have a shelf life. And I think, especially a lot of these coaches, especially since we only use the same 33 coaches, they're all hard asses. And I think that style of coaching is long gone for a while. Works with some people, but
I think it works
John
for a
Cooper
couple
and
of
Paul
years.
Maurice, I think, are the style of coaching that is going to be the new wave. I guess Bednar too, to an extent, but he's a little more stoic. But like Paul Maurice knows when to push the right buttons with his guys. Like, obviously, you're gonna have your wild cards in situations. Like Joe Quenneville is one of one. Like, there's not going to be another one that can kind of replicate that fire. And that
Zarine's
definitely
second in
replicates to the
wins
bench.
in NHL history.
Yeah,
behind
same space for something.
Scotty
But
Bowman.
the best part about having a short tenure like that is there's going to be another team that needs a kick in the ass. So, promise you, Bruce Cassidy will probably be a Toronto Maple Leafs head coach in no time. There's going to be a lot of teams like that. I just think it's the NHL, man. Like, for every time I think that more teams are going to do what Pittsburgh did with Dan Muse, they're just not. They're not. And it's because, unfortunately, for every Dan Muse, there's a Luke Richardson and there's a Ryan Huska. So, and a Ryan Warovsky, which he's just getting saved by Celebrini being Superman. So, which is also sick because Celebrini's just on a freaking tear, man. He's so good. I think the game that summarized it best was, I think it was against Anaheim. He had 4 primary points and won the game. Like, beast mode. Very good player. Definitely should be a Hart and Ted Lindsay finalist this year. I don't think he wins it, but never know. This fucking Hart committee, they love giving their participation trophy Hart trophies, which is how
Okay, Kucherov has been great the second half. It's McDavid. For me, it's McDavid.
and he's not even a finalist to some people, which is fucking crazy to me.
They're not in a playoff spot. if
Not even
McDavid
close.
isn't doing what he's doing, yeah, they're not. They're not in a playoff spot, let alone winning the division.
Exactly. But no, everyone's got all the voters have Connor McDavid fatigue. This is exactly what I talk about with the voter committee. They're all fucking squares. So
It would be like baseball. It's just been Ohtani and Judge, and they've deserved it all the years that they won MVP. Like, why can't we do that?
because no,
Voter
we
fatigue.
need to be different. Everyone needs their
Yeah.
chance in the sun. Oh my god. Found a gem for after the pod. I just found a war room from when Bowman traded for Dickinson. Holy shit.
Can we play that on the podcast?
I just sent it to
I
you
gotta
on
figure it
Twitter.
out. Okay, I'm gonna
Just sent
figure
it
that
to you on
out.
Twitter. I haven't even watched it yet, but that's crazy. It's like 2 minutes long.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Hold on. I just saw
It's-
that. It came out 2 hours ago on Oilers Plus.
Fuck.
Was someone just said would like to see the war room of the Jari trade? They must have been drunk. That's awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
wonder if we're getting shit for this, but I'm gonna try it anyways. I have too many screens open. I'm gonna cut this out, but Cecil's on 2.
Yeah, don't look at the other shit I said. You just focus on the last thing.
I've only watched the first season. That was a couple of years ago, I think, after we got back from Charlotte. And now all I see is protein tubes with that white sauce.
Protein tubes.
I'm gonna make that the name of the podcast.
How about steak?
Look, Mark.
What? Omni Man is
I
your
made a
dad?
mistake.
Protein
We can
tubes.
finally BBs.
How much does this job pay?
Invincible fans win dialogue.
This is a fucking person, bro. I swear to God.
All right. Let me know. Can you hear this? I'm about to play it now.
Give them our first.
I can't
hear it.
Dickinson at half price
can.
and Doc, and they take Mangiapane, everything in one deal.
One-stop shop.
That's what I'm trying. I think that would get Kyle's attention because he's not going to get a first anywhere else. And I think it gives us enough money that we could still have Szymanski. I was just looking at this separately. We have to go through it all to see. Yeah, I think Colton would be great for us. I don't think there's any question. Just as a role player and brings a lot of energy, and he's still an asset.
I like the energy part.
He's always been different than his brother. He's more like the rugged
I like the
power
energy
forward.
part.
Yeah.
You know,
And the personality part is can't like it seems like a minor piece, but on this team it's like it's not.
He gets here, he get excited, home, playoff team.
189 hits in 53 games.
Wow.
I just talked to Kyle. Chicago would do that deal if we wanted to. First round pick, and they keep half of. Is what we talked about. Dickinson half price, Doc, and they take Mangiapane. Chris really likes Dickinson for the reason that he's like exactly what we want, which is he's a third line center and he's a penalty killer. Like he's the player that we're looking for.
Yes.
We're not building a fantasy team. What you see is exactly what he is. He's a pro. He's very dedicated to his craft. He takes pride in the details and being a defensive guy and a penalty kill guy.
That's the music to my ears when he's saying, we're saying, hey, he accepts his role. Like it's his power play. That's
Oh,
what
you're
we're
telling
really
It's his ass.
don't
Thank
have.
you. We
If
needed
you're
this
rolling
on
the dice with the guy you don't
tired
know.
of these pipeliners.
That's my
Oh my
Listen,
God.
I love Jason Dickinson. Like, I always hate when we see those videos and it's like the one we always think of is Tyler Seguin. He's a star, but does he fit in with our team culture? And then Stan Bowman saying, "We're not building a fantasy team here." Like, I think if they were just like, "We're getting a good role player here, and we're dumping off a contract," it's good.
No, but
Like,
he's got to
let's-
stroke his ego like 5 more times before he does that.
yeah,
And then the other
And
people
then-
in the room are just like, that's a lot of hits. Okay.
yeah.
I like that. I like the energy. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I know the Hawks
You kn-
war room's not any better, so I'm not gonna act like we're any better, but like, oh man. Bowman, never change. The fact that you get the ruin the best player in the world prime is just beyond me.
2 of them.
I hope to God it's their Antoine Vermette trade, but
I hope so too, man. They're beating the Mammoth 3-1 right now. That's a team they might.
man, that's
win
it. They
in
probably
round
play in
one.
round 1.
Yeah, if they win a
They
division.
do kind of. I don't know. It's something about the way the Oilers stack up against them. They just curb stomp them every time. Tristan Jarry assists on the power play, by the way. And Curtis Lazar goal in the Big 26.
Hell yeah,
Gotta love
former
it. Also,
Oilers
Montreal's a
fan.
bunch of terrorists. Don't ever speak in my Don't ever speak
They-
in my town ever again.
They won.
Yeah, they wanted a shootout. It's like
Yeah.
the worst outcome that could have possibly happened.
Whatever. At this point, I would just accept it.
Yeah, but like
Florida's
I don't
getting
want to see Florida get
first overall. No, I don't either. But
Actually, I kind of want to see them get first, second if we get first.
I was gonna say,
Let's
if
piss everyone off.
like that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. If we get a top 2 pick and so is Florida, I'm willing to do it
Oh,
because
I'll take that every day of the week.
just to
I'll
see.
take that every day of the week. I want Hitler, Stalin 1-2 in the draft, and then let's just see what happens. I want to see Twitter erupt on May 5th.
It's gonna be 2023 all over again.
What's gonna be
timeline
worse,
is gonna
this or
explode.
2023? This 2023
I think
was
this will
bad,
be
dude.
worse.
2023 was bad. That was like 2 years off, like Kyle Beach and Bowman getting canned and
Less
all
than
that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also this one, it's like, fuck, we've already had like 3 top 3 picks.
I think from a pure trolling standpoint, this year, like if that happened this year,
Wait,
it
can
would
we
be
even
that.
win the lottery this year? Like technically?
Yeah.
Oh, there's not
I
like
think
the it's just like we can't get first overall like 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, like the Hawks haven't jumped up besides 2023.
Oh yeah, I
I'm gonna
guess
look
you're
that
right.
up.
They stayed in 24 and they went down in 25. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I see what you mean.
I want to look that up because I think it's like you can't win it. You can only win it twice in 5 years. So you could technically win it 2 years in a row, but after that, you couldn't win it for another.
All the more reason to unprotect that fucking 27 first and blast it into the sun.
If they go up this year, absolutely, man.
Like you can't even get anything with it anyway. Fuck it, send it off. That'd be interesting to see if that actually happened. And like the team finishes bottom 5 and they have to fall, so some team's gonna have to jump. Like, is that what's gonna end up happening if that ever happens? Like, imagine. So like you get first overall like 2 years out of 3, and then year 5 you finish 4th last, or no, you finish 2nd last. Let's say you technically have to drop, right?
I think so. if you do win the lottery, I think they just redo it again. Because there's a thing with
That's so fucked.
Just watching like the proverbial balls go your way, and it's like, no, you already won. I mean, but I guess if you won twice within a like, if you won 2 years in a row,
Oilers.
yeah. But I think it was like we're talking about Ottawa. Because of their forfeited first, what would have happened if they won? And I'm pretty sure they just do it again. So
Freaking Ottawa. And they complained enough and got their first back. But we're going to make it 32 because that's the punishment. Slap on the wrist.
that's what they did in 2014 with the Devils and Kovalchuk. So
Nothing is real in this league.
no, it isn't. What do we think about Vegas hiring John Tortorella and replacing firing Bruce Cassidy and replacing with John Tortorella? Good God.
I like it, man. I like it. He's coached a lot of those guys, unfortunately. It's very hypocritical him defending Carter Hart.
But I forgot he coached Carter Hart. Like not defending it, but
I mean, this
I
is
get
just
why,
like
yeah. That's
he
all.
knows a lot of the guys on the team. And let's be honest, a lot of the guys play the way Torts likes his players to play.
That was one
know-
thing when that happened. I know everyone was making jokes and memes about Tortorella and Marner. Like I saw
He
the
probably
Whiplash
loves
one.
Marner.
I'm like, he's probably the guy you would love the most on that team. Like,
No, Eichel. Like he already coached
too.
Eichel too.
because
And Hannafin and all those guys. Like
all the
he's
American
coached-
guys. But yeah.
But no, yeah, Marner, like that's what he looks for, and it's like
That's his
star
dream player
offensive
right there.
players. Like, oh, you play defense too? Holy shit! Like, and like Hurdle, like that's a player who's right up his alley. He's got to love that Dorofeyev's got a cannon. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's the perfect guy to mix it up in the room. And clearly, like clearly the players were done with Bruce Cassidy last year in the playoffs,
Oh,
and those
after
exit
they
interviews
lost,
should have
yeah.
shown it. But I guess the management group just said, hey, we're going to run it back. We're going to make a big swing. Clearly they did. They got Mitch Marner. Vegas is what they do. And they got Rasmus Anderson. I haven't even talked about him yet. Another player that Torts probably likes. And
Yeah, maybe you can fix
You
it in
know,
the final
it
5 games.
didn't really gel this year. And like, you know, it's funny because the year they missed the playoffs was the first year they got Eichel. And I always just feel like when you get a big move like that, either it clicks that first year or it takes a year for it all to get together. Because I always think like, you know, Kachuk, it took like half a year and it all clicked the second half and they never looked back. You know, I think of Eichel, obviously, the next year they won the fucking cup. It just took 1 year to adjust in the system. And for, you know, big players like that, sometimes it just takes that extra year. And I think if, you know, you give Marner an extra camp and if, you know, Torts is only signed to the end of the year. So, you know, if you win a round or two, bring Torts back, run the camp with them. You're going to have a healthy team this offseason. I don't know what happens with Pietrangelo, but, you know,
I
they
think
still
that's
got
it
it.
for him, unfortunately. for
Yeah.
them.
They still got a bunch of pieces, though. And I'll be honest, they've managed the cap relatively well. And they've done a lot of this without William Karlsson, who's a big part of their center core.
That's a
So,
huge loss for them. Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
they've been playing Marner at center.
and apparently it's been going pretty good. So can't even knock him for it. So I don't know. I like the move. I like the move, but at the same time, I just like, besides Marner, I haven't liked the moves Vegas has made this year. And I think with that being said, you know, you look at the moves they've made, they pick up the Colton Sissons, they pick up the players of that nature. Like Jeremy Lauzon, I think, was the guy that got to get depth on the back end. And, you know,
Yeah, that
Rasmus
was the
Anderson,
Nick Hag trade.
yeah, and Rasmus Anderson's one of those trades that's like writing on the wall, but at the same time, or like it was always going to happen, but at the same time, it always kind of was fitting a square peg into a round hole. Like he was never going to fill the Petro gap that he filled or left, and I think that was always our
it was.
concern with Vegas going into this year was like, how do you fill Alex Petrangelo's gap? Because that's not an easy one to like.
It's like they're
fill.
Marian Hossa, kind of.
Dude, yes, St. Louis is still trying to fill that gap. Think about it, like. It's
Dargon
true.
Show tried to build a defense. Oh no, I know that. We've been going over it. Like,
yeah, we don't
how
need
the-
that guy.
yeah.
We don't need the captain who captained us to a fucking cup. We
We don't need
Troy
Vince
Krug.
Dunn either. We don't need Nico Mikola. Like,
Well, we got Phil Broberg. Oh wait, he's an RFA.
who's been great.
And Holloway's an
Like-
RFA too. That's a guy the Hawks should take a run at. Fuck.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
They should.
But no, he's a division rival, and we just don't do that because this league sucks. Anyways, Vegas. I think
What's
they'll
that
be fine.
meme where it's all the like people standing in line? It's that goal figures like checking, don't want to be different or like don't want to be the same. That's the
Pierce.
NHL.
I
What's
just
that?
thought about it.
What?
Q and Torts in round 1 might be a fucking bloodbath. Holy
Oh, you were
shit. They
thinking
might
that?
actually fight. The
Bro,
amount of
it's
like,
literally gonna.
how
Why,
close
yeah,
are
yeah,
the two
nah.
benches in those arenas? I need to know. Because they're gonna be fucking barking at each other in that
Dude,
series.
it's gonna be literal 1930s like train whistle angry. Why
Oh.
I gotta get at you? It would Q
Like
with
what,
his
what
mustache.
goons does Vegas have? Because Anaheim's got some bad motherfuckers that'll go at them. So, like they
Oh,
got
yeah, Ross
Trouba and Gudas ready to
Johnson
fuck
versus-
you up. at any
Oh, I
moment.
know it. Ross Johnson versus Keegan Colasar.
Fire.
Cinema,
But I guess also
absolute
like Mark
cinema.
Stone will just beat the shit out of you. Like, so I guess like just their big guys will do it too. It's funny how we talked about Vegas that whole time, didn't even mention Mark Stone. They're so
And being
fucking
healthy
deep.
helps, I think.
Well, duh. Like he's a 100-point player when he's healthy. Like he's awesome. Like Mark Stone's the top 3. Like, they have the 2 best defensive wingers in hockey when they're healthy. That's crazy. And then you have like a top 5 center in hockey. Like on paper, they should be so much better. And this is why Torch should fix this. Too much talent. But then again, there's only one puck.
Yeah, I did find it funny because I think the players were done with Bruce Cassidy. Oh, Bruce Cassidy was too tough. Let's bring in the teddy bear known as John Tortorella.
I mean, he comes in as a teddy bear every time. though.
yeah.
Look at him. He's just smiling, having a good time in his tracksuit every game.
I was just yeah, it is like turtleneck.
I'm sorry. I love Torts. Like, I know he's such a dick, but I love him. He's so
Oh,
funny.
he's one of the most entertaining hockey characters of what the last 20, 25 years.
Dude, like going down the bench to go fight is hysterical. Like in the locker room to go fight someone is hysterical. Like trying to break the bench down. Like I think that was Patrick Wall, but like, dude, towards his electric.
That was Patrick Waugh, but John
Take
Tortorella
precedent
going into the
of coach,
Flames.
which is I am ready to die for this team to prove a point.
Yeah.
And hey, that's got a shelf life. And guess what? That shelf life starts for the Stanley Cup playoffs. So get ready for boot camp, motherfuckers. And I know Tor said he's not going to do much, but that changes when you're down 2-0 in a playoff series. So,
And
we'll
you're like maybe facing the Oilers.
and you're on a contract that every game matters. Quite literally, every game matters. And yeah, it's the team that's had your number the last 2 years. So figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah, they beat the Oilers on I think it was last Saturday, but the last couple of years it's the Oilers have had Vegas's number after they beat them in 2023, including beating them last year in the playoffs pretty handily. So
It's
and
the two best teams in the division the last half decade. So it makes
Mhm.
sense. I do think it's hysterical that like this is the way the Kings dodge the Oilers. Is this the year the Kings make a run?
that's gonna be it's still conceivable that the Kings could take over Utah and Edmonton wins the division and they face it in round one. It's like you can't
Please let it happen. I need it.
you can't get rid of me that easily.
Kings win out. It's like, let's go, guys. Oh, we're the and the
fuck.
Oilers lost every game. God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
Although I like their chances with Artemi Panarin more than other years.
Brian Dumoulin and Joel Edmondson and Cody Ceci say otherwise.
I don't know. With all those dipshits, they've gotten to 7 games before. So, except last year, they got the 6. But I think there's just so many fucking. I think there's so much wrong in between the ears with that team in Edmonton. Like, I think if they're not playing them, it might be different. But also, if it's Colorado, they're getting fucking curb stomped. So,
Oh, and
and if they
shame
don't,
on-
then holy
shame
shit.
on the
there's
Avs if
big
it's
problems
anything
in
less than a
Colorado.
sweep. Yeah.
By the way, fun fact: Colorado is like 3 games over 500 since like the halfway point of the season.
No,
Once
they've been
again-
kind of mid.
Yeah, once again, first round exit, calling it.
They've definitely coasted after
Not
that,
first round
just
exit,
a
but
crazy
definitely
start.
fucking second round exit.
Do you think they're gonna get
I
to
lo-
the conference final? I
I
pick
like
Dallas.
Dallas and Minnesota more.
I
Show
think
that
we're-
someone other than Nathan McKinnon can score in the playoffs. Maybe Kadri helps with that, and he probably does. But he also has to be in the games for that. He can't get suspended. So
I think we're getting Dallas Edmonton again.
I hope so, man. And maybe Dallas can actually step up to the fucking plate this time.
Well, yeah, there's no Stuart Skinner now.
Dude, this should be Dallas's fucking Washington year. Like, I'm so serious. No one's talking about them. You got an extra year of Rantanen in the system. Like, everyone else is talking about every other team in the West except them, in my opinion. Like, they're talking about Minnesota more. They're talking about who's going to be the last team in the wild card more. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, Dallas is one of the top teams in the division. That's all they say. Keep sleeping, man. Keep sleeping, and then they'll be in the conference final again, and Pete DeBoer's not there to fucking pull the goalie this time. Maybe the offense can show up besides Mikko Rantanen. It's a big, this is a big playoff for Jason Robertson. And Wyatt Johnson, for that matter, because Wyatt Johnson had a shitty playoff last year.
I think anyone not named Mikko Rantanen, yeah, like Andre
Yeah,
as
step
well.
up to the
I'd put
fucking
him in
plate.
there.
Big time.
But yeah, with Vegas, so often it's show me a bad coach and I'll show you a bad goaltender. Aiden Hill, 868 save percentage, and they have him locked up till 2031, making $6.25 million. That's
They have
not
their
good.
PDO, or like not their PDO, but like their analytics all show that they're playing great 5-on-5 hockey. They just have the 3rd worst shooting percentage and the 3rd worst save percentage. It's
Yeah.
usually a recipe for not success.
Yep.
But also, Aiden Hill can't be that bad. You just can't be that bad, especially after they chose you over Logan Thompson.
Oh yeah.
Unacceptable.
Carter Hart is an 880. And
Trash.
Kirschne
Yeah,
is
the
the
fact that
best
they
one at
never expected
893.
To be the answer with no training camp is like, I'm not going to say it's not fair to the kid because like the kid shouldn't even have a fucking chance to play, but there's that.
Yeah, not one goalie over 900. Kier Schmid is your best goalie.
Get excited.
And I think just looking at them and the Devils and a lot of teams around the NHL, again, unless your goalie is Vasilevsky, Hellebuck, or Shesterkin, Sorokin, like stop signing these guys to long-term contracts. Like at most 2-3 years, and that's it. Like I know in
Yeah.
Chicago, like we would love to have Spencer Knight locked up long term, but I definitely get the thinking of okay, let's not give him a long term contract because he's a goalie.
Yeah, unless it's Vasilevsky, you're not giving him 8 years.
Yep. Buffalo Sabres have made the playoffs for the first time since 2011. The Atlanta Thrashers were still a hockey team at that point. They had to move to Winnipeg. And funny enough, their head coach when they last made the playoffs in 2011 was Lindy Ruff.
That's hilarious. Back when they had two 30 goal scorers and Thomas Vanek and Drew Stafford on the team. The depth.
And Pominville.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and
More than
This is
well
a team
deserved, yeah.
hit all the right buttons in the second half of the season. Not even second half of the season, second back 2/3 of the season.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's a lot of years of where they just start hot and can't finish, or they finish hot and they start terribly. And this is one of those years where they just found a hot streak and kept it
Everything
going. And
finally came together, yeah.
everything clicked. It's one of those years where everyone kind of took a step that needed to take a step. Like two of the guys that took steps that I don't think are going to get talked about enough. Obviously, Zach Benson is one of the best 5-on-5 players right now for his age at 21. And that doesn't get talked about enough just because he's a playmaker. He's probably only finished like 10 or 12 goals this year, but that's a
10
guy
goals,
who is
61
one of the
games.
he's one of the main reasons that Tage Thompson's line gets driven. And the other two guys you have Jack Quinn, who's taken a huge step. I think he's on pace for almost
Another
50
guy the
points.
Hawks could have gotten last offseason. Anyways,
Yep.
yeah,
then
19 goals
Matthias
in 78 games, 50 points. Yep.
Thank you. And then Matthias Samuelsson, who I think is one of the best 5-on-5 defensemen in the game this year. He's had a massive point increase. I think he's almost at 40 points this year.
41
And
points, 75 games, plus 36.
there you go. Those are guys that haven't really found their step in this league until this year. Josh Doan's another big one too. I mean, he's been
They
a
extended
huge part
him.
of that deal.
23 goals, 78 games, 48 points.
He has more points than JJ Paterka.
And the same amount of goals, I think.
And he's just been such a dynamite piece on the power play. He plays that bumper role. He can play on the wall. He can do anything. He's been plug and play. When he's been healthy, Josh Norris has looked really good. And when he's healthy, he gives him so much depth, in my opinion. It's kind of one of those things we were talking about with the Hawks when you can just run three really good centers. Like Yuri Kulich has had his moments this year. Obviously, Rasmus Dahlin has been dynamite. I mean, this has been one of his best years.
Underrated
of his career.
Norris candidate, 70 points for 74 games, 18 goals.
Big time. He's just been lights out on that back end. And it's a team that's just going to come at you in waves and score in bunches. And, Jason Zucker having a great year for all things considered in his
I did
age.
not see
Alex
that
Tuch's
coming.
having a hell of a year in a contract year. Like it's a deep hockey team, man. And the best part is, I think the best story of this team is the goalie that's leading the way was a waiver claim. Like Alex Lyon was a waiver claim this year, if I recall correctly.
I think people forget he did this. If he didn't do what he did in Florida in 2023, the Panthers don't
They
have
never get
back-to-back
there.
Stanley Cups.
They never get there. And, Colton Ellis comes in for a little bit, holds down the fort. UPL finally finds his consistent stride. It helps when you're a tandem and you don't have to be the guy. And they're getting timely goaltending for the first time in God knows how long in Buffalo. And
Since Ryan
Once
Miller
again.
was a Vezina guy.
exactly. And I just named like 6 or 7 things that are all clicking at once. And that's the exact reason why they're probably going to win the division this year, especially with the way Tampa's been faltering the last couple games. Can't help but be happy for Buffalo. And I can't wait to hear what game 1 sounds like. If it's Buffalo Montreal game 1, holy shit. I am so fat. It's not even funny. Buffalo, Ottawa would be even more electric.
Buffalo and like
or-
any Canadian team. Like, yeah.
So good. So good. Buffalo, Boston, electric.
Yeah.
There's
Anywhere
just so
in the
many
Northeast. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. There's a lot of potential first round matchups that could be electric. And, this is a young team with not a lot of playoff experience when all things are said. Zucker's probably one of the only guys that's got some real experience on the team. Alex Tuck, too, to an extent, made a couple.
Byram, I think, is the only guy.
Byram won a cup.
Ring.
Byram won a cup. Yeah, you're right. Forgot about him.
Oh, and can't forget Tanner Pearson. He got
Boom, gonna be a
and
Hawk.
Luke Shen.
Tanner.
Okay, I'm wrong. They have more guys with rings than
Sorry, I forgot about Luke Shen. My bad. Jacob would castrate me if I forgot about Luke Shen.
both of us.
Terrible. But yeah, they're a very deep team. They're a fun team. If you are even a step off your game, they're going to put 4 on the scoreboard before you can even look down at the ice. It's a team you don't want to see in the playoffs. And with how wide open it is in the East this year, ride that wave, man. Ride that fucking wave. Go Sabres.
Absolutely. That's a good team. I'm going to, if not root for, definitely watch.
Oh, big time.
And
Sabres hockey will be on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen, in May.
And 15 years, just think, like, even worst case scenario, like, Sabres had to go through so much shit. Like, worst case scenario with the Hawks, like, there will be one day where this is over and the Hawks will get back to the playoffs. Hopefully it's less time and pain than what the Sabres had to go through, but there will be a time that the Hawks will have their moment like this.
I know that first game at the United Center is going to be so fucking loud. Did you hear those Bears playoff games this year? Come on, man. Like,
it'll be rabid.
Most fair weather city on earth, but God, when those fans show up, it gets loud as fuck. Like, they're still diehards, but like, fuck, the fair weather fans are loud as shit when they show up.
Yeah, those are kind of the main teams I want to talk about. Are there any other team? Oh, I want to talk about the Detroit Red Wings.
Fire away.
And they're, man, it was kind of like when we were talking about New Jersey earlier, where we're going through it and you're like, fuck, that could be the Blackhawks soon. And I look at the Red Wings and the lack of inaction from Steve Yzerman and a lot of like how he's drafted. I'm like, that could be the Hawks soon. Because I think the way the Hawks and the Wings draft are pretty similar. Like, they don't like go crazy upside. Like, they have a lot of competitive guys who can play in their middle six. Like, I think of Nate Danielson, Marco Kasper. I don't think of them as top of the lineup guys, but those are definitely guys in the middle six. I would put Carter Bear in there, their most recent first round pick, and Michael Bransick-Nygaard, like, same thing. I don't know if high end talent, but it's a middle six guy, and I just hope that's not the Hawks in a few years where Bedard is starting to get going and you just don't want to trade from your depth to help out this team. And Justin Falk is the best you can do. Granted, I think he scored 2 goals, even though they lost to the Blue Jackets anyways, but that's an unprotected first that you're giving up to St. Louis. Who knows, man? I've not been impressed with Yzerman and the Red Wings the last couple years, and it's the same thing as the Hawks. They've done such a good job of accumulating depth and drafting. You should be taking huge swings. Should be a team that's in on someone like Robert Thomas. Yeah, it's disappointing from the Yzerman.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going to get fired. I think
He'll
something
get promoted.
really bad would have to go. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do. Make him the Poho guy.
The Poho guy is crazy. Yeah, for all the good he's done, it's just there's some blatant holes on this team, and he's tried to fill them in such lackluster ways. Like, for as long as we can remember, the hole on this team is a 2C. Like, it's always been the center behind Larkin. That's what's holding them back, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions.
Or center in front of Larkin, if we're being honest. Well, that's
yeah. But the point still stands. You try to fill it with JT Compher. That's not the answer. You
Andrew
try to fill it
Kopp.
with Andrew Kopp.
Nope.
Not the answer. Okay, well, we'll draft it. Marco Casper has not become the answer. I don't think he will. He's not strong enough to be a number 2 center. Nate Danielson has not even cracked the NHL yet, so I won't entertain that conversation yet. But that's also that pick was 3 years ago. So you've had 4 cracks at filling this 2C hole, and you haven't even tried to trade for anyone that is worth of notice to fill that hole. There have been pieces out there. You just mentioned Robert Thomas. They're probably the best match for that because they can actually give assets that are worthwhile. And Yzerman won't do it because he likes his guys and he likes, he kind of just likes to make the safe move. Like, oh, I'll just bring Patrick Kane back for a year. I love Patrick Kane, but that's not going to push them over the top.
Great move until he took that tripping penalty against Minnesota.
Like at the end of the day, he's like their 4th leading scorer. Like,
Got 50 points, doesn't he?
yeah, I think so.
52 points in 62 games as a 37-year-old.
Yeah, not bad for a guy who, can't play a full 60 or full 82 anymore, but fuck, when he plays, he can actually play. He's just a slow starter now.
70
but,
points last year. He had 25 goals.
I know.
Or no, that was his second season. I'm reading that wrong. Okay, last year he still had 59 points. I was reading it the wrong way.
That's awesome.
But still, 59 points last year and 21 goals. Like,
Yeah, he's still a top 6 forward. But the problem is, like, Lucas Raymond hasn't really taken that step to be that high end forward that they need him to be. Like, I think he's a great top 6 forward. They were hoping he was a point a game player by now.
well,
I
he
think-
is.
Well,
But yeah, you
well,
would he's got 73 points, 75 games. But yeah, maybe you would expect a little bit more.
my whole thing
I
is you
don't
can
know.
unlock more if you get another center in this team.
Yeah.
Like Ryan O'Reilly should like he'd take this team over the top. Like a player like that. That's a team who probably should try to go get Shane Wright. Like honestly. Like do something to try to fill that 2C hole. Or that 1C hole, like you said. Maybe you knock Larkin down the line. That makes you ridiculously deep. But for the amount of times going back to Steven fucking Stamkos that I have heard that this team is going to trade for a top center or get a top center or sign something. Get over yourselves. It's never going to fucking happen. And it starts with Yzerman, unfortunately, like you said.
Yeah. Lack of inaction.
They're also the worst team in March
Or
I've
lack of
ever
action.
seen. Ever.
That's what I mean. Once the calendar hits, it's been I think it's been like this last 3 years where they're in there you go, even worse, 4 years, a whole presidential term of you. Once the calendar hits March, you start shitting down your leg. Like
Terrible. And I feel bad for the fans because every year they buy in and they're ready for it. And I don't blame them because every year they kind of look a little better. Like DeBrincat shattering career highs this year. Like it's Mo Seider's having his best year yet. And that's another underrated contract. He's making like 8.8 for the next 7 years.
DeBrincat has 81 points in 77 games, 39 goals. Oh
Beast
my
mode.
god. Imagine if the Hawks had someone like that. That'd be crazy.
Whatever you do,
Anyways.
don't look at the league scoring because he's right next to Brandon Hagel.
Once again, just
And then
grab
Dylan
that.
Strome's like 10 behind.
Oh my god! We could spend a whole other podcast on that. We were texting each other about it the other
Oh my
day.
god! This is so fucking stupid.
That's how she goes sometimes.
But guys,
that's
it's so hard to acquire this talent. Oh wait, I forgot. It's easy when we're the ones giving it away. My bad. It is hard to get that talent. Shit, my bad, guys. Jesus.
If the playoffs started today, it would be Colorado versus Los Angeles, Dallas versus Minnesota, Edmonton versus Utah, and Anaheim versus Vegas in the East. It would be Carolina versus Ottawa, Tampa versus Boston, Buffalo versus Montreal, and Battle of Pennsylvania.
Every match except 2 excite me. 2 matches just make me roll my eyes.
I'm gonna guess Carolina, Ottawa,
Yep.
and Colorado, Los Angeles.
Yep.
Yeah. The top
Every other
seeds
match, at
versus-
least somewhat intrigues me. I guess Edmonton, Utah, because I think McDavis is going to steamroll him like he is.
Oh,
Tonight,
that'll be
but
fun. That'll be fun to watch still.
yeah. See Clay Kell in the playoffs.
Yeah. Nick
See
Schmaltz
Nick
back in the playoffs.
See if Nick Schmaltz can win a playoff game finally. Maybe score at home.
No, like,
Maybe his team scores at home.
maybe they get more than 3 goals in 4 games.
Certainly, they couldn't just chalk it up to getting goalied, right?
Well, at least they kept all their guys. It just all leads back to the Blackhawks of past and their mistakes. Anyways, I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah,
We're
let's
almost
end the
at
show.
2.5
I'm fucking gonna
hours.
go insane here.
Nightmare,
Oh my God.
nightmare.
Just getting thrown down nightmare of memory lane. Jeez
Well,
Louise.
again, it's good exposure therapy. By the way, Will Scouch just sent me a DM and he'd be willing to jump on the podcast. So hopefully that's sometime soon because I really want to talk about
Get
the
excited.
draft class outside of McKenna and Stenberg because I think we have a pretty good idea, but I want to hear about the other players and what
Yeah, I got some players I have some opinions on. I want to hear his.
and what he thinks about the rest of the Hawks pipeline. And also another thing, Scott Wheeler's doing his top 32 prospect rankings, and the Hawks are in the top 2. So I think it's tomorrow. I think it's between them and San Jose.
Bang!
Get excited.
Get excited. We're the best.
We're
Another
the
year
best.
at the prospect crown. No, nothing to be worried about here, guys. We're the best. We're the best at the hypothetical trophy.
They meet if man. Do we raise banners for best prospect pool? I think we should do that. You know how pissed off.
As I go watch
number
Caleb
one
Muffle for
prospect
tape.
pool by the Athletic. Put that next to the 2015, 13, and 10. Get excited. Oh, okay. Yeah, we should end it off. I think we're almost bordering on delirious. Thank you for tuning in. and-
Bordering.
Oh yeah, we're there. I'm being too kind for us, which should tell you everything. Thank you for tuning in on your preferred podcast platform, whether that is Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon. I don't know if I said that already, but any of those podcast platforms. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of video podcasts and video clips from the show. So for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, y'all, and we'll talk another time. Hopefully, probably before the playoffs start. Peace out, y'all.